Oh, fuck. Came out of nowhere. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Tuesday.
Really?
I had to do it. It was all the burps. Collider Live.
It's because you're burping up poison as given to
Yeah,
you
you
by
missed the
LaCroix.
whole show yesterday, but why can't I hear you? I can't hear a damn thing you're saying.
I don't know.
How's that?
I can hear you just fine.
What's going on, everybody? It's Collider Live. It's Tuesday morning, and a very big show here today as we have two casts of the brand new movie Look Away. We have India Eisley, the star of the movie, coming in, and the great Jason Isaacs is coming in as well. I can't wait to talk to him. And joining me on the table today, back from the land of the lost, or wherever the hell you were.
Well, I was up in Paso Robles for a wedding, which was incredible. And then I thought that I was having like a very bad allergic reaction yesterday morning. Just
To
my
nuts?
allergies. No, just my allergies come and go. Like last week they were terrible, and then they went away for a while. And then I found out it was a spider bite.
No.
Yeah.
See? People.
Yeah.
Yesterday when I took out a fucking spider, and a big ass motherfucker too. What kind of?
So I went to urgent care because my eye was swollen shut, and I get sleepy eyes, but like not this. And so I fell back to sleep for like 5 hours, and I was like, something's wrong, like something's weird. So I went to urgent care, and the guy looked, and he's like, yeah, we've seen this a few times the last couple months. I think it's spider. We think it's a spider bite.
What kind of spider?
We don't know what spider. It's small. It's not going to kill you. It's just you're just going to have a weird allergic reaction. Some people more severe than others.
Especially you. You're a mess when it comes to allergic.
I'm allergic to everything. So he gave me a pill.
He didn't even bite you. The spider just climbed over your leg.
He just got there. He scared the shit out of me. Keeping it a secret from my wife, not telling her anything about this. I'm sure me telling it on a live show is actually going to get.
She doesn't even know about it.
No, I said it was like a really bad allergic reaction. They gave me an antibiotic.
Oh wow! Yeah, that'll freak her out because then
we'll never sleep again.
I don't know how your wife is, but my wife is terrified of spiders.
Oh my god! Are you kidding me?
Yeah. And so that's not good. And because they're everywhere. You should have seen the thing that I took out. I told him it. It was like I said, Shelob from Lord of the Rings. It was like this big, huge spider
in
web.
your house?
No, right outside, but by the tree, and it can easily access to my house. So I said normally I don't mess with things when they're outside unless it's a squirrel in my courtyard. But there's
the squirrel war continues.
I get tweets about squirrel stuff. I did see one person yesterday tweeted me a solution to these squirrels. And it's a cat. No, it's a catapult. Oh, it's amazing. Like if you guys see, like bring up the squirrel catapult. It's really good. So basically the squirrels, they go in there and they eat. They think that they're safe and they're eating stuff, and then just fires them into the trees. It's great. It's squirrel catapult. Yeah. See, watch. There you go. Let's try this one. God. I haven't seen this one. Look at this. Watch. So these little bastards, they come up, and look at the size of that motherfucker. Oh, whoa, yeah. That's a homemade one too. Yeah. See?
I don't think the things that you guys think are funny are funny.
Why?
I am. Look at that guy. See, look. You want to eat some of my shit? Get out of here. Get out of here, you son of a bitch. I'm telling you, look, give me another one. Give me another catapult one because I'm starting to think that I want to do this.
What's wrong with you guys?
The squirrels need to go away.
They need to go away. Give me another catapult. Yeah, I want to see these cat. Oh, this is the one I saw. This one's great. Watch. So look at this. I want to set this one up in my yard.
Yeah, this is. That looks like an easy one.
It'll fire right off to the lady feeding them peanuts. Look. So look at this guy. He's just chilling out. I'm
just fencing it.
I'm getting away with everything. I'm a real son of a bitch. I'm gonna eat all these people's shit and then watch you little prick. Fuck you. Yeah.
That could really hurt them.
That's the point.
Stay out of the yard. Is it better than shooting him in the head with something or poisoning them?
No, shooting them is better.
Killing them as opposed to flipping them out like
I do think so.
Now he gets lost. That was like,
I'd
get out of here.
rather kill it and eat it than torture it.
That's not torturing. That's just
That
a
is
look.
torturing it.
No, it's not torturing. It throws them out of the way.
If you break the legs of a squirrel, they can't do the squirrely things. It's torturing it.
It'll get better. What's this?
I don't like it.
Squirrel catapult. Oh yeah, they got one from the. I haven't seen this one. I like it. I think it's great. Look. Where is he? Yeah. Amazing. Oh God. This is what I'm saying. Yeah, look at him. Yeah, look at him making the noise. I don't know if that's Beardo doing that, but still.
Good too.
Watch.
Oh, he's ground control to Major Tom.
Oh, it's really good. The music's great. Oh, there's two of them. I wonder if the other one leaves. Oh, there's two of them. Please launch two at the same time.
Is he stuck in there?
I am getting one of these things.
Let's go.
Whoa! There he goes. The other one take off?
Oh.
The other one took off too.
This makes me sick to my stomach in the morning.
Really? Oh, I love it.
So
Why?
good.
Because you don't go through.
Are you friends with them or something?
You don't go through what I go through with these squirrels.
Yeah, why are you so supportive of the squirrel people?
It's just so mean. And
Squirrel people? They're squirrel people? Are there squirrel people?
Squirrel people that support squirrels.
I think I am a squirrel person. I'm a squirrel person.
Why?
Okay. Do you have them in torturing you?
And this better not be the same argument as musicals. They're just good.
No, it's not that. It's just, I mean, here's the thing. I'm all about eating animals, right?
Oh.
Like, because I want to eat them for food.
Okay.
But just to torture them, I've never tried it, but I would. Just to torture them and make them
That's
go
not
away.
torture.
There's not a purpose. And why are...
There's not a purpose.
What's
it is.
wrong
Stay
with them
out.
being there? It's not like they're going to hurt your kids. It's not, they're not bringing
They
you...
could.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Find me the video of the squirrel attacking the guy.
Yeah. Squirrels start become domesticated.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then
what-
they attack people.
Squirrel attack.
Are you talking about rabid squirrels?
No,
Squirrel
we're talking about
attack.
squirrels.
That guy,
Squirrels.
Zach, got you a second. Squirrel attacks, man. Watch this. These things, they are more. They are
Look,
way
he's
more.
recording this. Obviously, he's done something to the
He
squirrel.
hasn't
No.
done anything to the squirrel except.
Look, he's
Oh.
trying to.
Is that the one that attacks him?
He puts his hand out.
It looks like
See, he's trying to be nice to
I don't know
squirrel.
what
Well, he's not
doing.
trying to be nice. That's not what he's
Yeah,
trying
go a
to
little
do.
faster.
He's trying to tick him off.
Does he attack him? Yeah. See.
And we don't even know what's really happening.
This guy's an idiot.
This guy's a moron.
This guy's an
Okay,
idiot.
so he's an asshole.
This guy's an idiot.
We all agree.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
It's not squirrel attacks. This guy, the squirrel climbs up a guy's leg because he's a putz.
Yeah.
Is the guy homeless? No.
This is
All
gotta
right,
be
this
in
isn't
Pittsburgh
the
somewhere.
guy.
It was stupid.
See,
And
this
it's
is
mean.
stupid. This is
and
stupid.
here's the other thing.
Now
You're
he's
in
friends.
their house. They're not inside your home. The world,
But they could
nature
get in
is
there.
their house.
Yeah, but we're the
So
dominant
what?
species.
You should kill all of them before they get in there.
It shouldn't-
Yeah.
Look, stay out of
if
my.
if you're somebody who eats squirrels, I don't have a problem.
Stay
but
out of
you
my
can't just
yard.
torture them.
No, it's not torture.
Roxy, they are overpopulating.
So are people.
Wait a
I
minute.
understand that,
Hold
but-
on a second. You said the other day, little contradictory here, because the other day we were talking about. You're telling me to fight the war. You're like, kill them all.
See?
Yeah, kill them all.
Oh, so just kill the squirrels.
Yeah, I don't mind
It's
that
okay.
as much.
It's okay
I-
if they.
I don't.
You just said that if they're flying around in nature, leave them alone. But now you say kill them all.
Well,
Which one is it?
if they're in your house, get them. If they're outside doing their squirrel thing,
One has been in my house.
So you kill them.
Well, but yeah, but now
You don't torture them.
But if I
you
know,
don't fling them around and break its
I
legs.
did
but
kill
see-
that one. I opened the door and he ran out.
Okay, but if it's in your house, it's your right to kill them.
Here's a thought. Is if the squirrel launchers, the squirrel catapults work, is now they've been launched from there and they go and tell their friends, hey, don't
Don't
go
go
to
over
that
there.
That
house.
is
That's what I'm
not
thinking.
true. They don't tell their friends that.
They
don't
know
know
it's
that.
danger.
I feel as if I do because
Look,
how many of them come
All
back?
right,
They
Big
say-
Irwin, are you sure?
Yeah.
They say to one squirrel, the other one, look, we used to go over that house and it used to be good, but now for some reason I was eating something and next
I
thing I
feel
know
like
I'm in
they
the
don't.
peanut yard. I don't know what's going
Here's
on.
another thing I'll tell you guys. This is a twat take to dislike spiders. Okay, because
You don't dislike spiders.
No, I love
Oh, yeah.
spiders. I love spiders because
They're good luck.
No, fuck
Spiders,
spiders. Fuck 'em.
spiders take
Nope.
care of the other insects.
Nope, I'll take the other
So
insect.
you don't
I
have
agree
to.
with that. They
Yeah.
shouldn't be biting my face.
Yeah, we know that.
That's not ideal.
No.
It's not ideal.
You don't hunt them outside. You leave them alone.
But
if
you
they're
leave
inside,
alone the spiders.
Yeah, if they're outside.
Because we
Inside-
like spiders.
Inside,
Cockroaches you kill.
Yeah,
oh,
correct.
because they're ugly.
There's a level. No,
But they are
because
Or you
useless.
drink them.
and because of all of the diseases
drink
that
'em.
they carry, because they're indestructible, and that's dangerous.
Pour some out for the
And
cockroach
they
homies.
are ugly. That is true too.
All right, fine. Enough of this. The other thing that I wanted to bring up here yesterday is I forgot about it. Ryan Satin had brought this up.
He is so loud.
Yeah, I know.
So
Welcome to the
fucking
party,
loud,
pal.
I had
Roxy.
no idea.
Who's louder,
Oh my
him
God.
him or Ellis? Though?
100% Satin.
You think so?
I walked out of here the other
knows it,
day
though.
and I tried to parry. I go, what's wrong? Satin was screaming.
It's just
and
his
she said,
tone of his voice.
She said, he's not yelling.
No.
I said, this isn't him
Garbage
yelling right now.
people.
I love Satin. He's awesome.
He's the best.
But
He's got a loud voice.
holy crap,
Yeah.
he was screaming.
He knows it. I talked to him too. He's just that's
That's just his-
It's like
very
Austin
hard to
Powers.
edit here.
With Austin Powers, to where he's just like, I can't tell the sound of my voice. That's sad.
Wow, he's
Yeah,
so
he's
loud.
He's loud. He doesn't. He literally does not need a microphone. If we wanted to talk to him right now, he could talk from his
Talk.
desk and we could hear him.
Do you think
He's a
he's like that in
sound guy.
bed?
You want to ask him?
I
don't
was
know.
thinking about it.
You wanna ask him?
Just because, do you feel like the whole time he thinks he's like whispering sweet nothings and he's like, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Move to the left. Yeah.
Do you like that? Do you like that?
Roxy, we just don't engage.
Sorry.
We just don't engage.
He's I do love Satin. He yesterday when we went on break, he's like, I found this video that I had no idea. Do you know what happened here? So Fred Durst, the
Limp Bizkit.
the famed band Limp Bizkit. There you go.
That got me excited.
Well, Limp Bizkit was on stage, right, singing in front of a lot more people than I thought would be at a Limp Bizkit concert these days. And watch what happens, because I'm not going to tell you I just wanted to see if it's and then here we go. Watch this video, Macuga, as you see Limp Bizkit performing. So watch, he's performing, and then
it's a Bo Jackson.
No, did you see that, Macuga?
That was a jump kick.
Yeah. So the douche from Insane Clown Posse, I don't know how he gets on stage. He jump kicks and misses and lands on his face. Watch it again.
That's the lead singer.
It's Shaggy Two Dope. Watch. Woo! And he missed completely. It didn't even. It felt like a spider.
I like him.
Yeah, exactly. What a pussy! He couldn't even pull it off. Oh, I love it. I didn't hear that.
It's one guy. Calm down. It's one guy. Well, it's two guys.
That's great.
What are they so mad about?
I don't know. It's in
Their childhood, you think?
Insane Clown Posse is like known for being idiots.
Yeah, I mean, is it?
Those are the I know.
Juggalos.
Yeah.
They're former WWF and WCW wrestler. I didn't know he was in WWF, but
Really?
Shaggy Two Dope. Yeah, he missed the drop kick.
Oh, did.
And just landed on his face. That's what a dope
he's wearing
video.
a Bo Jackson jersey. Clearly, Bo Jackson's still quick enough to outrun people.
I want a number in my name like
You do?
that, like
Roxy-
Roxy Fall President, or like
What? But why do you do that?
Shaggy Too Dope.
That's clearly just for press, right?
Yeah, gotta be. Right?
It's just because who's talking about Shaggy Two Dope before he tries to do a drop kick on stage to Limp Bizkit? But why not try to do it to like Adele or something? It's like, is that way you get more? That way you get more press. You do
Well,
it to
because then
Limp Bizkit.
I think you're a jerk. Like people right now. I mean, you saw the Franco Busy Phillips stuff this morning.
No, what
like,
happened there?
Yeah.
What?
She accused him of sexually
Pushing-
assaulting her.
Who's
no,
this?
no. Of
assaulting her.
assaulting
No, not
her.
sexually
Not
assaulting her.
sexually.
Wait,
Of pushing her down. When they were
Explain
filming Freaks and
who?
Geeks,
Oh.
Busy Phillips accused
James
in
Franco.
her memoir, James Franco, of being a bully and of pushing her down.
Well,
Guys hit
yeah.
guys all the time.
Right.
You're not going to have a memoir written about you. I'm not saying that doesn't. That I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying you don't
Yeah.
go after Adele because then you've got an assault situation.
Yeah, I heard.
Right.
We had interviewed.
But I could just see Adele trying to get jump kick and hers being like, "Hey, security, back off!" And just like British, like
Right.
I mean, that would be
hooligan, just
unreal.
stomping. Yes.
Right. I'm trying to think because I had heard things about Taylor. What was it? Taylor Labine. We interviewed him back on the Schmo show, and he had said, and remember him not having pleasant words at first about James Franco with apes, and then eventually they became friends. But I had heard things about Franco when he was younger in general, and this is the other stuff with the women not included here. This is just he was kind of douchey and committed to his crap. And I heard. I don't know for sure. It's all speculation, as is this. But
And then there were the sexual assault allegations earlier this year.
Right.
Yeah.
That never really went anywhere, correct? Is that?
No, not really.
Well, he took off. I mean,
he says that it didn't happen,
Yeah.
and then we haven't heard much since.
he vanished though, because remember he was in line for Disaster Artist. He was in line he had just won, I think, the Golden Globe or something, and then the day later is when it really all came out, and then there was no chance he was winning the Oscar, and then he didn't show up to the Oscars. He hightailed it out of it.
Right.
I think probably business-wise, smart decision. He's probably laying low until he feels as if
He's playing two parts on The Deuce, which I know I'm one of the few people that watches that show on HBO. He does an okay job.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very over the top. Like, if you and I got cast in a New York show, they'd be like, hey, give us your New York accent. We're like,
I could do it.
1970s New York. I know you can, but I'm saying, like, James Franco, not from New York, or maybe is, but his accent in that show is so, like,
It drives me crazy.
oh, you telling me, Vinny, that I can't do that? You're
New York accent's done wrong.
Come on.
It really bad. We were watching. I think I said this last time. Yeah, you pick
the
it
town,
up.
Blake Lively.
I'm
It's so bad.
I am so tough on that too, because when I saw Die Hard 3, when I watched it recently, when they had the one woman from Wayne's World and whatever else she's in, and she was trying to do the New York accent, it was like it's what you think it would be on a theater production at the Groundlings,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
And then they had some locals that it was just sounds like my neighbor at St. Robert's when I
Like the
went to
guy
school.
who's driving the truck.
Yes.
When he pulls him up and he's like, Chester A. Arthur.
Yeah.
Like it's that.
Those are like legit.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's that Limp Bizkit thing. Still, I don't understand why anybody's dropping anybody on.
You know
on
what's the
stage.
funny thing
No.
though is, okay, so you've got that's really good.
Yeah.
You've got New York accents that are like very imitatable. Somebody's always imitatable. Boston accents always imitatable.
Garbage.
It's that kind of stuff. And then where I'm from, and people hear like a Pittsburgh accent, they think it's fake. So whenever they shoot a movie in Pittsburgh, nobody has a Pittsburgh accent because they're like nobody would possibly speak like that. I.e., Bruce Willis in Striking Distance. The guy born
I
and
can't
raised
think
in
of what it
Pittsburgh.
sounds like.
A Pittsburgh
You don't
accent.
have one.
I know.
Everybody loses their accents.
Yeah.
Once you get out here. But I grew up with parents that were teachers, so if we started speaking in a Pittsburgh accent, they would freak out because it sounds so terrible. But we don't say our OWs correctly, so instead of like downtown, it'd be downtown.
Really?
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a gross accent. So it'd be like, hey, you's hanging out down Kristian Harloff's house. He like lives around the corner. His mom's like pretty nice. She's dying. She makes good food. You know, a couple pierogies, all your pasta.
Is that Canadian?
No, it's a
slash
Pittsburgh
like you're
accent.
from Michigan.
That's a Pittsburgh accent.
So
Guaranteed.
Joe Manganiello, friend of the show,
Yeah.
does his best Pittsburgh accent.
Here, he'll
this
do
is
it.
from Seth Meyers.
Yeah, he'll do it just like it.
Because he's from Pittsburgh.
Why is
Yeah.
he a friend of the show?
Because
He's been on the show.
Damn,
He's
where
been on
was
the show
I
twice.
on that
I
one?
don't know. He was on
And he
Schmoes
was-
and he was on One-on-One and he was on Movie Talk.
And Seth Meyers also from Pittsburgh.
I'm twice your age.
Opening weekend, so we can make a third one really
There you go.
quick.
Quickly. Played a guy from Pittsburgh, but it's
go.
too intense for television. Yes.
Yes, it was a follow-up for How I Met Your Mother. I spent a few seasons on How I Met Your Mother playing Brad and
Very
Carter
good.
Bates
Believe it.
and Craig Thomas. They came up with this great show that was kind of around. My character was a Pittsburgh sports dad, and I was married to Jamie Presley, and they were going to have me speak Pittsburghese exclusively with subtitles at the
Wow.
bottom, and it was so intelligible. It was like Train Spotting, you
Yeah.
know. And the network said no, we can't.
Just give
we
us a
can't."
little taste of the Pittsburgh accent.
Well, I'll give you like a little tutorial, like you're at a restaurant, a waitress or a diner or something. A waitress will come up and say, "Yin's ready to order in that," which means, "Are you ready to order?"
Yeah.
I'm going downtown here. I got my eye rock off of blocks, you know. I live up in Washington County. We're going to get down and check out the Stiller game this Sunday. They're real good this year.
It's so crazy. When you do it for people, they think you're making it up. It sounds like Dothraki.
you guys just did. Yeah.
Yeah, all right, well, look, Macuga proved us all
What
wrong.
is yins? Yins?
Yins is you all. Like, so instead of like y'all and tag.
Y-I-N?
It is-
Y-I-N-Z.
That is the most ignored accent ever.
In
'Cause
history of movies.
Until this day, I have never even heard anyone talk about a
Yeah.
Pittsburgh accent. And then there's 280,000 people that have talked about it or heard about it on that clip.
If I get a little tipsy,
Yeah, it comes
my
out.
O's get long.
Oh,
so
I get
like
tipsy.
Josh.
Oh, yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
I feel like I'm in a pizzeria in Queens when I get too
Right.
drunk.
Yeah.
Moving on, I want to talk about a couple other things. Yesterday, we're not going to get into it again, but we talked about the dong take thing, and then here comes the twat take.
Is that the word we're using? That word
Not
makes
us.
me disgusted.
Not us.
Oh,
We're not
okay.
going to use it. It's
Thank you.
Roxy's own.
Rock's got a twat
It's Roxy's
take.
own. Yeah, don't worry.
I
We're not-
can't be a
I
show
wanted
that
to
uses
go.
that.
Why can't you
Because
use
It's
it?
the most disgusting word in the English
Twat?
language next to the C word.
Yeah, we just
it's
discussed
Oh,
it.
I
Makes me-
love the C
makes
word.
me crawl.
Yeah.
Do you not like when women use it either?
What, the C word?
No.
I don't mind the C word.
The twat word.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
It's
You
the
don't
most
mind the
disgu-
C word?
I
You
think
just said
it's-
it was the worst.
No, I'm saying twat is
He did it. We got him.
Which word?
the T word.
Oh.
Okay, is
Soundbite.
because when you hear Australians or like Irish or the English say it, it's kind of funny, the C word, right? But the T word, no matter who says it, it can be Ralphie
You
Cifaretto
toot.
on that. It can be English. It can be Irish. I think it is the most disgusting word we've ever come up with to describe a beautiful part of the female body.
What do you prefer? Vagina?
Sure.
A vagina take?
No, I mean, it could be.
Twat take makes
I
like
think a
t-t-t.
dong crosses
It flows a
all.
little better.
Dong
Twat
take.
take.
No. But,
you're
but
saying-
again, we had to define with this whole thing that happened yesterday. With I don't want to go over it again, but what we did
I missed
come
one show and I
know.
totally lose my
I know.
mind.
What I said to Roxy afterwards, I said, you really need to listen to Afterthoughts because it's like you'll know more who these guys were. And then Ryan Snelling yesterday had tweeted at her a couple times in a conversation like, hey, I think he liked the take that you came up with. But Roxy did listen to a full episode this morning or
Yeah,
yesterday?
he was not happy with me via Twitter.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
So here's the deal. You can say so many things about me in this world. Like you can call me annoying. You can think I have all the dong or twat takes that you want. But there are two things. Number one, nobody can say I don't work my ass off.
You do.
Because I work harder than most people that I know. And number two, nobody can say that I don't love this industry because I love it more than anyone. Sure. So those two things are really important when you know me. So if somebody's going to tell me, take 2 hours out of your time and listen to this, I'm going to do it because of both of those things. Yep. Because I'm going to work hard and because it's part of the industry.
And you want to be informed.
Do
you want to be informed of what's happening.
Right.
Yeah.
So Kristian texted me last night and was like, you really should listen. So I'm going to do it. So I stayed up last night to listen to their 2 hour afterthoughts.
Wow.
And it was really good. They're really good. I will say that I think that people think that this is easier than it is. Like you can just pick up a mic and start talking. And so a lot of times when I listen to some podcasters, two guys that are going back and forth, it ends up being so stupid and bro-y and whatever. They're really good.
They're good.
And
they have a good dynamic
and I'll
together.
give them that.
Yeah.
They're really, really good. I think it was Ryan that tweeted at me. Maybe it
was Ryan.
Yeah, and he tweeted like, kind of upset with me, like I've followed your work over the years. You probably don't even remember our encounters. Like just pretty bitter about it, which I get because I've come on them hard, and it's hard for me to remember that they're not you guys. Like I rip you guys to shreds because you rip me to shreds because that's what we do, and we're actually all East Coasters on this table, so it's like that's just how you treat your friends. If I don't like you,
oh no, Pittsburgh's like more Midwest. We're kind of like Coastal Ohio.
If I don't like you, then I'm just quiet. That's what I do with people I don't like. If you ever were wondering, does she like me? If I'm not talking, I don't like you.
Oh, well, there you
go. It's pretty. That's
enough.
the way that I do
the way
it.
it is.
So I think that it's awesome what they do, and
they have a good
poke
dynamic.
Fun.
They put
great dynamic,
and they put a lot of work in. They listen
definitely
to a lot
they
of
listen.
stuff.
And how can I be upset that they're listening to 6 hours of the show every week?
Yeah,
like
they really
that's
do. They're like hardcore fans.
they're super
of it, too.
fans.
Yeah.
They're super fans, and that's fucking awesome. Now, did I agree with what they were saying on the show most of the time? No.
And they don't expect you to.
No.
Yeah, they don't expect you to.
I definitely disagree.
They crush TV talk every week.
They don't like it?
no,
they were really actually favorable of what's going on with the TV Talk feed and people getting more
Yeah,
involved.
they have been.
Not a huge fan of yours, I gathered from
I don't think so.
the thing. They said, we've been hard on Macuga over the years, but he was amazing on Collider Live this week.
Well, that's what
So
the thing that they
you get
do.
that.
That's what the thing that they do, and that's what I love about them, and that's why they continue to do the show. Is that there'll be times, as we found out a couple of weeks ago, that they'll say things, and it's like, guys. But you also have to realize they're A, not getting paid. They are B, in Kentucky. And C, they're doing this really because of their love of the space and the love
I
of
don't understand how they're in Kentucky when Jason says that he's on all these shows here. He calls in?
Jay.
Jay.
Jay calls in.
His name isn't Jason?
No, Jay.
J-A-Y.
Jaye.
Oh.
So he actually they are really good. They are really good podcasters. They know what they're doing as far as sound and everything too, because they'll be in different. I think they did a show one time where they were like in different parts of the country, and it sounded like they were sitting next to one another. They're very
They say
good at
our
that
sound
stuff.
on this show sucks, by the way.
Well,
were
their
not very-
friend. It was. I heard that of it. It was their friend that had called up. They didn't like our sound initially, and then Beardo and Cody did a lot of. That got some new equipment stuff. It's gotten better, and they weren't wrong. The first couple episodes it was tough because we need. Beardo was the first one to say it. It's like we need this, and this to make the show sound better, and we've been working on it. And
We also are. Thad and I are going to eventually hang some curtains on this brick wall. so
that's
it
what they
bounces.
and they were mentioning
They suggested
that.
that,
Yeah, they were
too.
mentioning
I
that
think
too.
it'll be up
because-
by next year.
Next year, yeah.
I'm actually going
probably.
to. I'm going to do it this week. I'm going to bring in stuff from home and just do it.
And just
'cause that's
do
how
it.
it's
Yeah,
done.
that's what we need to do. So anyway, it was good that you listened to the show because you get a little bit more of an idea of what those guys are
Yeah,
doing.
I mean, I still think that they have a twat take on dong takes. Like, I think that
Should want it to be promoted.
you
know.
should 100%.
Yeah.
Even if people are using it wrong, that's funny to be like they're using it wrong. That's
Yeah.
funny.
Well, to Snelling's credit, I think he's also plays it up on the air.
Definitely, as do all of us.
Right.
Which is why I thought it was so interesting at the end of their show. They were like, "Don't take things too seriously." Yet I'm getting novels on Twitter about how I don't like them and how they've been supporters, and it's like, don't take me too seriously.
Right. Well, look,
'Cause
we're-
I'm not-
We're all
I'm not too
learning.
serious of
We're
a
all
person.
learning each other, and that's what happened. But I do recommend for those people who are
was
out there who
really
don't,
good.
who
It was
see,
really
that's
good.
my point. Is that the show itself? If you're listening, all you got to do is go to Collider Movie Talk on the podcast feed, and they're every Friday, and it's really the show does better and better every week with the amount of downloads that it's been doing, and you want to hear. I mean, I wish that the guys did live in LA because they would be great to have on. I think they do really well. They know television very well. They know music very well, and they're guys that I think that are very talented. So check them out. That's the last plug they're getting on the show.
And check out Movie Talk live every day, 4 p.m. Monday through Thursday.
Oh, okay, good.
Just want to check that out too.
Thank you. Movie Talk, we gave a big shouts to yesterday too. We gave a nice little segment on that too. Like that show, again, probably one of the most popular shows on our audio feed right now is Movie Talk. Obviously,
Always. I mean, it's the flagship.
it was. What we were talking about yesterday is that once we started with the podcast feed, a lot of people have been taking it in the podcast, and the video's fine.
Sure.
And the podcast now it's doing better than it ever has. So Movie Talk is doing well. This show, if you haven't listened to the show on Apple Podcasts or on Podcast One, please do so. Download it. Give us your likes and your subscriptions and all that kind of stuff.
Social security numbers.
Yes, please. You know what I saw? We saw yesterday. We saw First Man.
I'm so excited to see this movie.
Yeah, and especially after your
Your
Buzz
boy
Aldrin.
Buzz, yeah.
He's in it, and you know who plays him, right?
Who plays him?
I would always remember you getting this question in the Schmodown of who plays what's his face in Darren Cross in Ant-Man.
Corey Stoll.
Yeah, and it took you a while to get there,
Yeah.
but a lot easier. You did it a lot easier there. But when you got there, Corey Stoll plays Buzz Aldrin.
Nice.
And
That is a perfect casting.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
That casting was.
he's kind of douchey in the movie.
Yeah.
He's kind of douchey in real
I know
life.
that's
Yeah.
the thing, I guess, huh?
Buzz Aldrin came to a family, I told you, family
Yeah.
dinner and spoke on speakerphone with 13 people around him eating dinner.
I think
Never seen
Buzz
anything like
Aldrin
that.
probably sees that and thinks that was good.
Right.
Like, I don't think he looks at that and was like, "That's not who
That's
I am."
who I am.
I think he's just
Well,
like,
because the thing, what I really liked about it though too, it didn't turn into like a shticky character. Like he says some stupid things. That's stupid. I shouldn't say stupid. Inappropriate things. He doesn't say stupid things. He says inappropriate things. But every time he does, you see the dynamic with him and Neil Armstrong, Ryan Gosling, where Neil's like, "That's probably something you shouldn't have said," and then Buzz is like, "All right," every time. Every time in the movie, and he never like talks back to Neil Armstrong. It's like he says something, and you're just like, I'm just saying. That's kind of who he is in the movie. I'm just saying.
That's how he was in real life.
Right.
100%.
But by the time, and this is not a spoiler because they get to the moon, when he's
Unless you're Ellis and you still think that
Kubrick
set on
shot
stage.
it. Yeah.
he really does.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I don't know if he does though. He believes every other conspiracy. I think that's the one that he thinks like
He is one of those conspiracy lovers.
My dad too. My dad.
The moon one is so
holy
dumb to believe though because because even what they cover in this movie is the Great Space Race, right? With the Russians. You don't think that if Kubrick shot that, the Russians would have found every way possible to expose that?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, it was like the thing. Like they would have found every way possible to expose it. They could not have held that secret.
No, 100%.
Impossible.
And the whole drama leading up to it with like, spaceship explosions, all that kind of stuff. That all happened. We didn't like
Apollo
kill
1.
Americans to like further the space race to prove that we could shoot it on a soundstage.
Well, that's
A
what they.
lot
that's,
of people died.
But that's what they
Tons.
claim. But that's what they claim. They claim that because the Apollo 1 blew up and all that, and in the testing and stuff, all that the reason that's why they did the Kubrick thing because it just wasn't. There's not going to be able to happen. So they had Kubrick shoot it. And it's silly.
Silly.
This is what I said to you after the movie, Kristian, but so a lot of times you watch these movies and you're like, how could everybody have thought that? I would have been on the right side. I would have been on the wrong side of history in the 60s because I am telling you, if I found, like, there's starving people, there's so many issues. If all the money was going to NASA and I'm sitting there, I would have been one of the protesters being like, why do we need to go to
the moon.
space?
Right. Well, because that's the thing. It's not because especially back then, it's not fathomable. It's like, oh, this is just fantasy. They want to do Flash Gordon stuff. When you realize what it
actually means.
It is the exploration of what eventually, I'm talking 1,000, 2,000 years from now, this planet isn't going to be livable. We're not going to live on
There
this.
was a huge thing yesterday that the UN dropped that by 2040 we are going to be in dire straits.
That's what I'm saying. This planet will not be livable eventually.
Woohoo.
Eventually.
Yeah.
So you have to start looking around. Why do you think this is exploring Mars so much?
Right.
Why do you think we're doing so much work on, because it is for future generations to come, we're exploring to see what else is out there. You have to explore space because who the hell knows what we're able to do. Our ability in general with like technology is so limited. Like,
Rudimentary,
we're like cavemen compared to like I fully believe in life on other planets. I fully believe in intelligent life on other planets.
If
I
you
just
don't
think-
believe in some form of life somewhere else, you're very self-centered.
Yeah, well, it's
You
But I
can't
also
think
think
that there's nothing else out there anywhere,
Like,
and we are the only ones.
It'd be
Prove
a
it.
big waste of space.
Prove
I just-
it. Give me the facts.
right. It's this endless.
Every
space.
scientist will tell you the same thing, though, is that it most definitely exists out there in some way, shape, or form, right? We just don't know where along because our planet is old and there might be older, but it doesn't, you know what I mean?
Right.
What is crazy is that we may never see it and those people may never see it because traveling at the speed of light is impossible.
Right.
We
For
can't
now.
do it for
now. Who the hell knows?
But
that's what I mean. Is like who the hell knows 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years? That's why like Roxy saying she'd be on the wrong side, and there were tons of people
Yeah.
that were.
You think you would have been on the right side?
100%.
Really?
I'm. Yesterday, what the hell was it? Oh, my wife was watching The Voice, right? And there's some guy. He's like he was legit a rocket scientist who goes on and he's talking all this stuff that I'm fascinated by. Didn't understand a goddamn thing.
Sure.
Right. And I was listening to it and I'm going, I wish I was this smart. I wish that I could understand because I am fascinated by space and parallel universes and time.
I'm
all that.
fascinated too, but I love that in this movie they do make it, and this is not a spoiler, just it's a big part of the film.
Yeah.
All the people around that are just like, look at everybody dying on this planet.
Right.
Look at everything that's happening here. And I think that you have to not just love space, but really be able to see. I mean, Ryan Gosling answers the question in the movie.
Well, that's the thing that people like. I talked to Snyder about the movie before I left, and he liked it, didn't love it, right? And I think that his take on it, I understand. He wanted to see more about, I guess, a lot of the other characters. But the movie really is about Neil Armstrong. It's
called First
It literally
Man.
is called First Man. But you know, but it's his story. I didn't know a lot of his story, which was tragic. A lot of stuff that he went through. I had no idea that a lot of that stuff happened to him and things that he had to kind of endure in order while he was doing all this. From like it covers from like 1961 to 69.
Okay.
And Damon Chazelle does a brilliant job of shooting it. You feel like that opening scene, Rox, when
they're on the freeway and everybody's dancing.
I almost
no, that's
got
a
up.
different movie.
I almost got up and got out
Because it was so intense.
I
Yeah.
felt like, and we watched an IMAX. It was just very overwhelming.
How's Claire Foy in it? She awesome?
She's
No.
good. You didn't like her in it? I liked her.
You just don't like the
no.
Crown.
The answer is
She doesn't.
the answer to was she awesome is no.
Okay.
She wasn't horrible.
No.
I don't think her accent is particularly strong.
It slips in and out. It slips in and out.
Does it?
And on top of that, I find her character, and maybe this was a choice, to be super duper unlikable.
Is it like Skylar in Breaking Bad?
I'm going. No.
Yes. For me, yes.
I disagree. I'm on the other
Exactly
side of it.
like
I'm
that.
on the other side of that. I think that she is. Look, Neil Armstrong went through some shit.
Yeah.
Right. And he also, the thing is, guy had a family and a wife who was holding the family together.
Which is totally realistic and justifiable. I just didn't like her.
That's fine, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying that to me, I did like her a lot because I thought she was strong. I thought she was the one. She basically. There's one scene where she goes, "You're going away for a little bit. We don't know if you're coming back. Sit down and talk to the kids." And he's like, "I'm out." She's like, "Bullshit. Get in there now."
That was I think, the strongest of hers, for sure.
And I thought she was like that throughout the movie.
It was so one note, though, like
Really?
that throughout the movie for me.
Okay.
And again, a lot of this is a character choice, and I don't know what Lydia,
Claire Foy.
Veronica, no. What's the name of
Crown.
the name of Miss Armstrong? Mrs. Armstrong.
Mrs. Armstrong.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Her name. I don't know what she's like in real life. Maybe this is a dead ringer for
Yeah.
what she was like. So then it's a fine performance.
You just didn't like her.
But between the
That's
accent
fine.
and when you're up next against Ryan Gosling, he's the most charismatic actor that we have right now. So it's just really hard when he's so charismatic and charming, even though there are qualities about Neil that you hate, you still love him.
Yeah.
And I didn't love
the
her.
supporting cast, though, I thought, even though they weren't as in detailed, obviously, as Neil Armstrong, too, I thought were amazing. I thought
Kyle Chandler.
Jason Clarke.
Yeah.
Jason Clarke I liked a lot. And he's just one of those.
Jason Clarke worked with Jason Isaacs on Brotherhood.
See, there, we'll
What's
throw that up in
Pablo's
there.
last name?
Oh, Shriver.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
really
good.
good.
It had a great supporting cast. And I think that Damon Chazelle hits it out of the park again. This is a very different movie from La La Land, very different movie from Whiplash. And
Rank the three.
Whiplash,
Number one.
yeah. I have to see First Man again. But I probably put First Man just a little over La La Land. What? Unbelievable. How can you do that? This movie, it's good, but it just doesn't have the musicals, everything. Man, take it easy. No, but you have to listen. Unbelievable. That's the guy. That's the guy. Okay, fine. That's the guy.
Pretty accurate.
But I can see myself getting into an argument with him about it.
Dude, you just went like complete bipolar, and it was unbelievable. You need to do a Scott Mance one-man show.
He should.
You really should.
Hold on, we got a phone call here. Scott Mance, are you there? Yes, I am. I want you to talk to somebody. Who? You tell me who, and I'll talk to him right now. I got Danish Kristian Harloff here. Danish Kristian Harloff.
Oh, hello, Scott Mance.
How are you? That's him. That's the guy. What? You. Yes.
In Denmark, we let each other talk a little more.
Unbelievable. You're right. I'm sorry. Have you seen La La Land? I mean, La La, the best movie since Citizen Kane. Yes.
Is Stein Bromsen in your La La Land?
Stein Bromsen, 1921. She was born. Actually, that was her grandmother, Hunshanka Bromsen.
Listen, you cannot reference Stein Bromsen's grandparents. They are royalty here in Denmark.
Yes.
We'd appreciate it.
Denmark, unbelievable. I was there. I saw a film there. I was with Emma Stone. Yes.
We have a law here that your voice cannot go above 13 decibels, and I believe yours is at 47.
Sorry.
So
Roxy Striar, there she is.
Oh, hello, Roxy. My name is Danish Kristian Harloff. A lot of people attacked me on Twitter last week saying my accent was more German than Danish, which is possible because I don't know how to differentiate other accents.
Well,
German. Love Marion Cotillard. Yes.
That's actually a French actress.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I think the gymnasium was in Germany, though.
The gymnasium? No, it's in Denmark.
Isn't she French, but she lived in Germany? Is that what it is?
I believe that she was French and she played a German actress.
That's what it is.
Let's say.
Whatever.
Who are German actors?
You're forgetting Christoph Waltz.
Right?
He is German.
Arnold's Austrian.
Arnold is from Austria, which is also part of Germany. It just depends on the mountains that you go to, person.
All right. Well, thank you, Danish.
You're welcome. It's great back being here on a Tuesday, as we call it in Denmark, Tuesday.
Frank, the editor, did a big shout out to all my Israeli fans. Thank you for coming out to my meet and greet. Look at all these people that came out to Frank's meet and greet.
That last night.
It's great.
Wait, is he making a joke because it's not a meet
No,
and
those
greet?
are
Zoom in to all the people who are really looking at him and paying attention to him.
Go to the girl on the ground texting.
Look. She's tweeting that she's here with.
She's tweeting out.
Yeah,
she
those
even
clown
wore
pants.
her Beetlejuice pants just for him.
There you go.
Look, he's very excited. Everybody's taking autographs.
Look at that
Is
guy
that
right
Ben
there.
Schwartz.
That's Ben Schwartz talking to Jenny Slate there on the porch in Israel.
I'm too gullible for
No,
this.
do you remember? All right, so moving on.
Right.
But we, First Man. Anyway, so the movie, an IMAX stuff is good.
Did Ella see it with you too?
No.
I think he saw it at TIFF.
Oh, right, okay.
So get out there though.
This has been my most anticipated movie since everybody started talking about it. I'm really excited to see it. Love history.
Yeah. So this is
And space.
Yeah, I love space.
It's to see it in IMAX though. I mean, especially like they shot all the moon landing stuff for IMAX. That's the only part that's in IMAX.
If I asked you what is the name of the vehicle that astronauts drive, what would you say?
Well, you mean that thing with all the gold shit on it?
What is it called?
The rover.
No, what's the vehicle? What, like a car? A bus driver drives a bus.
A moon buggy.
Astronauts drive.
Space car.
Hovercraft.
Shuttle.
What do you want to call it?
I couldn't think of it during the screen, but then I came up with rocket.
Oh,
Right, it's a rocket ship.
Well, the rocket ship is what goes up in the air.
That's what they drive.
They don't drive it. They just kind of sit in it.
Well,
And
what
they
do you mean?
steer it.
They're
The
piloting
rocket
it.
goes, and then they're finally in the module, the lunar module.
Is it a spaceship?
A space shuttle?
Yeah, it breaks off. The
Shuttles
rocket shoots up into the air.
astronauts.
Yeah, the rocket only exists to jettison or to catapult you
They don't
into
fly
space,
Once you're
like
in
a squirrel.
space,
when it
you're
breaks
not
off.
in a rocket.
No,
it breaks off. Yeah. Thank you. All right, I want to move on though because we did. So the movie's good. You should see it
excited.
in IMAX, especially the end there too.
Okay.
It is emotional for sure.
Okay.
As a dad, I will tell you that it definitely hit home with me.
Interesting.
And then I get out of the movie and I'm like, you know what? A Star is Born. I've been chasing this movie down. I missed both the screenings. I missed everything I was supposed to see with this movie.
Let me take another look at you.
Yeah, well, and then I say, not today, Josh Macuga. I'm going to see this movie.
Okay.
And I tell Roxy, I'm going to go see this movie. I'm going to go drive to a theater close to my house. She goes, why don't you just see it here? Because we were at Universal. I'm like, all right, I'm going to do that. So I got the movie is not starting until like 6:30.
Okay.
So it's like, yeah, I can just drive closer to my house. The movie was starting at 6:30, so I drive there, and I buy myself some food. I get there with enough time, and I get something to eat. Walk over to the theater, and there's only 3 seats left in the front.
Oh no!
At 6:30
on a Monday.
On a Monday, and then I'm like, okay, well the next one is
word of mouth is
7:45 is the next one, but the movie's 2.5 hours long.
Oh
I would
man!
have been like 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I missed it again.
Missed it again.
So I'm gonna try to. I see Goosebumps today, and I'm gonna try to sneak in.
Do you want to do like a little buddy date and go see a daytime
wanna see-
Star Wars?
If I can't get in tonight, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Did you not see it yet?
I haven't seen it yet, and Amanda has no desire to see it.
And you
What?
can't go tonight?
Maybe
Yeah, she
tomorrow.
doesn't really want to see it.
It's the best movie.
She doesn't want to
loved
see
this
it.
movie.
Why doesn't she want to see it?
I don't know. She said she I don't know. It's just like I don't like what like I see where it's going. Like she's got addiction and like it's some music. I don't know. That was her.
There's
That was
a
her.
lot of people saying that they're like that the story is too obvious and they can. But that's
Beardo said it.
Macuga just nailed it.
Did I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the movie.
Beardo hated it.
Well, you did hear him say that she's got addiction, right? Because
Yeah, he was wrong
Yeah.
about that.
So
okay, so he didn't
that's
nail it.
right.
Well, I mean, listen. Beardo. I told you when we were talking last week. I could see where a Star was born. Remember, I gave you like the whole rundown of the movie.
Yeah.
But I don't care. I want to see. I want to
Can
see
you
what
tell me what happens in First Man?
I'm a hype machine. Okay, I'm a hype machine kind of person.
All right.
If somebody hypes it up to me, I'm going to see it.
Right.
Okay.
Because we know that Neil Armstrong, spoiler alert, lands on the moon.
Correct. But
Roxy, fuck. The hell?
listen, the
I was
movie has
born in
not come
92.
out
I
in
didn't know this
Denmark
stuff.
yet. The movie is still new. We cannot be
Holy shit,
spoiled.
were you really born in 92?
Yeah.
7 years old when I moved to this dump.
If you want to feel older, RB3 was born in 97.
I know
Yeah.
he was 2. Well, Chance Ellison was like 6 months old.
Who's that?
Chance Ellison, the brand new superstar in Movie Trivia Shimoda.
Yo, I really like him.
Chance Ellison? He's
Yeah.
a good kid.
Why
does he sound familiar?
No, why is his name Chance? Because his mama took one.
It's good.
Our target.
I like it.
Bam, bam,
It's good.
bam.
I like
that
that
one's for
Chance
you,
Ellison, too.
Ellis.
What's happening with our jokes?
Oh, the stand-up comedy
Yeah,
stuff? Well, we're still waiting on Sean Polofsky to come in here, who will be your mentor. Right, and then you're talking about
No,
the
not
actual
mine. I'm talking about the
Roker
competition.
versus
Yeah, yeah.
Roker versus. Well, there's 2 things here. The first is that we can make an announcement that the Ellis' show that he's got coming up. What's the date on that show?
Friday, October 26th.
Friday, October 26th. Where at?
Good date.
At the Los Globos Theater.
At
Los Globos
Los
Theater.
Globos Theater.
Here in Los Angeles,
Ellis is
California.
putting on a show.
Theater
1026 theater show. Los Globos Theater. There you go. You can buy tickets if you go to markellislive.com. And hosting said show.
Yes.
The one and the only. The
two-
afternoons.
the
Host the
afternoons.
afternoons. Josh Macuga and Ken Knapsack.
Yeah, we are after our. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's good.
Thanks.
I like it.
Yeah, we hosted the show at Comic-Con. I thought we did an okay
Very
job.
successful.
And Ellis was psyched about it, so we're gonna double up our efforts and go to Los Globos Theater.
We should double about efforts.
Real
Yes.
question. Do you prep for that?
Ken and I talked about certain things that we probably wanted to say, but for the most part, wing it.
Yeah. I'm doing 15 minutes.
You are?
No.
The excitement on Roxy's face, God, awesome. I made the wife because
Thank you, RB3.
I made the wife watch a couple of your stand-up clips because she didn't know.
Oh,
she had
okay.
no idea.
Yeah.
She loved it.
Oh, good.
Yeah. She was
I'm
like, I would have been a Christian fan in the day. I was like, yeah, I know.
But
Back in
now.
the day.
But now, not so much, yeah.
Now all he does is talk about
She
squirrels
did
and
say the
farts.
first thing that I said. She's like, what's up with the beanie?
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
I mean, after a while, it's
Yeah.
just too. I was dating someone at the time.
Okay.
During that show.
Who sold beanies?
The
No.
girl who cheated on you and you
No.
found her?
That was. Thank you for bringing that up.
You're
But no, this was like 5 years later. No, she was. You know her.
Yes.
But she asked me when we started. She's like, "What's with the beanie?" I said, "It's just good luck." At that time, when I wore the beanie once when it was freezing.
Okay.
And I wore it once, and I had a really great set, like standing bring the house down type of set. I'm like, well, I'm going to wear this forever.
Okay.
Bring up Ken Knapsack doing my set. Have you ever seen Ken doing my set?
Oh, it's amazing.
Bring up Ken
Yeah.
Knapsack stand-up comedy, and it might have that clip.
Ken
Yeah,
does
bring that. That's
your
fine.
set?
Yeah, he
did.
does my set.
Yeah.
And
But did
there it
he
is.
ask
There
you
it is.
permission?
Yeah, I was standing on the side here. This is Ken doing my set. And he knows.
Does that happen a lot?
No, I was supposed to go up, and I told Ken go up as me, and he did it.
Well, come out, huh? If people ask you to come out tonight, what you tell them? You tell them go to a comedy show? Yeah, don't you hate when people come up to you like, hey, what are you doing Friday? What are you doing Friday? I don't know.
It's my sweatshirt.
You want to tell them? What are you doing Friday? I don't know, this. Add a little wrinkle.
Yeah.
I was watching the news. Tim Hardaway, a basketball player, he said he just said he doesn't like gay guys. He doesn't like gays. See that news? See the news? Watch the news?
He said that.
Yeah, way back in the
Says
day.
people aren't supposed to be gay. I don't know. I live in Hollywood. Lived here for a long time. I have a pretty good idea that there's some people supposed to be gay. Walking along the street, see a guy running along, jogging, little shorts, doing this. He's supposed to be gay.
Anyway, so he does it for like 6 minutes,
man,
and he messed up some of the jokes and laughed about it during it, but it was good, and that was one of the ones you can find that.
But I don't.
What's wrong, Roxy?
Here we go, Roxy.
Here's the thing. I have questions to ask.
Get there.
But when I ask, some people say I bring the show to a screeching halt. But I'm a confused duckling, so I
like
have
that.
to ask the
Okay,
question.
I want a T-shirt that says "Confused Duckling."
I'm just a little confused duckling. What?
Change
Why
your
does
hair.
he? So you get time on a stage, and then you don't want it for Ken to do you?
You got to remember that room was that was our Cheers.
Yeah.
Where we were. I was up there 4 or 5 times a week at that point when
So do
that was
people in
going
the
on.
audience know that he was him being you?
Yes, because there's a lot. So that room would have a bunch of new people that had never been to that show before, and then it would have a lot of regulars, and then they'd have a lot of the comics, right? So
that was more of a comics show for a comic.
not at that point.
No, but what he did.
Oh,
that
yes.
was like,
yes.
you know what I'm saying?
And
So that wasn't.
well for the regulars too, because at that point there were a lot of regulars there that would come in, pay the tickets, but they knew. So the regulars were myself and Ken and Tom Connolly. Ellis at that point was a regular, and so they would know. Eliza Schlesinger was a regular at that point, so they would know. They started to know us, and they started to know, very similar if you started watching the show, right? Like you know the personalities, and that's what people would come and pay.
Or then you're like that one guy that came in. I was like, why does this guy have a German accent?
Right, that was right. He just pops in. But so Ken, when I don't remember what happened, but Ken and I were in the back. We used to hang there, have a couple of drinks, and I don't remember, and I don't even know how it came up. But we're like, go up, do my jokes, because he watch each other's sets, you know everything. He's like, I gave him the beanie. He puts on my sweatshirt and he goes up and he does it, and it just brought the house down. Because the other thing was people who, there were people that were going up to him, which I guess was a credit to my set at that point. But they go up to him, they're like, didn't know what was going on. They're like, great set, man, great set. It was good.
That's awesome.
It was good. So anyway, I don't even know how we got down that road, but
Oh man,
Because we were talking about how they're going to be doing
yes.
Mark's show.
Yeah, well, and you asked about the jokes. So we're going to have
26th.
Roca versus Brett Sheridan. Were you here when we came up with this?
Yeah, oh yeah.
You were here,
I was
so-
a component of it. Proponent.
Right. Oh, yes,
Component?
yes.
Proponent.
Well, are you part of it or are you pro it?
I'm pro it,
Yeah.
so I'm proponent of this thing.
Yeah, it'll be Sheridan versus Roca.
Oh,
and
can't
for
wait.
those of you who don't know what the hell we're talking
The
about,
Schmodown match we all want without questions.
without question. So it's going to be 3 judges, which will be Roxy, Beardo, and RB3.
RB3.
Or the 3. Thank you, RB3. And the 3 judges will. One person will go in the room. They will have 3 minutes to make those people laugh, and they'll take notes. The judges will see both contestants. They will vote, and then we will see who will have a spot on Ellis's show.
It would be awesome if we had one of those like interview rooms with a 2-way mirror, and we
Yeah.
were behind it.
Watch it.
Yeah.
I know.
You know who's been really nice to me all for the past 2 weeks?
Roca.
Yeah. Smart.
I know what's happening.
Smart.
Let's get this thing. If he wants it for Ellis's show, which is the 26th, right?
Yeah, we got to move it.
Yeah, we got to get this thing
We gotta
going.
move it. All right, you're right.
How about we do it
That's the producer for
next
you.
Monday?
Or Reilly fell asleep. Yeah.
next
Oh,
Monday?
Riley's in there. Hey, Riley.
Yeah, thanks for the camera work, guys.
I just gotta move your chair.
Did you see that yesterday? By the way, there was a shot. I don't know what we were talking about.
They've been
but
doing it all day.
and
What are they doing?
They zoom in on
Zoom in
Reilly.
on me.
Well, Reilly, when he's not on the table, he's checking
Listen,
his emails.
Yeah, I actually
What
had
is
to
it
do
on
two emails for guests while I'm sitting here.
I got those 2.
Guests that are coming in today?
No, you didn't get that, Cobbster.
I did.
No.
Is it who I think it is?
No.
Okay.
Oh, producer
Well,
Bill.
then how come I'm not getting those emails then, Riley?
It's because it's not for
shit.
live, dude. It's something else.
Okay, well, we're doing the show now.
Yeah.
Riley, what's wrong?
I'm in a bad mood.
I know. Why are you in such a bad mood?
Because I'm
What
cranky.
happened?
I got a
know.
lot going on, and they got the fucking Zoom in my face.
Well,
And
listen,
it's like-
right, yeah, come. Yeah, don't
And then it's
apologize.
like it halts the chat. They're like, what's wrong with Riley? What's wrong with
Yeah,
Riley?
well,
Let's
that's
go.
what I tell you.
done.
What I tell you about the chat. You got to stay out of that chat. It
Yeah,
really
I'm
drives me
staying
nuts
out- no,
because
no,
I got to tell you,
because
I've broken this guy's balls before. They didn't do anything wrong. You're
No, I know they
you're in
did.
the wrong.
I'm
game.
just
out of there.
But I'm annoyed.
Okay.
And
Well,
I
that's-
can
you can
react
act
and be
with,
annoyed.
What's going on with the chase to the altar?
That's a good change in the subject.
Yeah,
I like
thought
that.
that was
Wait,
smooth,
but can we
right?
get back to
Okay.
Chase to the stage real quick?
Yes.
Just
Yeah,
real
yeah.
quick because
I just want to make Riley
this
feel
is
better.
that's way more pertinent.
Thank you.
Money's on the line.
I think
love you
Riley
guys.
needs to be able to talk. I want to hear the chase to the. To
Oh,
the-
altar for sure.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
don't think we should try and pick a date for the chase
for
to the
these
stage?
guys. Let's do it off camera
Okay.
so we can figure it out because I don't know what's
Everybody
happening.
pull out your calendars.
No, it's not that. It's Studio B because
True.
again, production. Thad and Dennis and the boys they get
Thad Dennis and the boys.
Thad Dennis and the boys they get inundated with all this shit
Yeah.
and I thought and they are and I said it before and I said it, they're the unsung heroes of Collider and they
I'll
don't
sing
get
'em.
enough they don't get enough credit. People don't realize that that's why sometimes when people say, "Oh, it's so easy. Just go in and why don't you guys just shoot a show there. You can do it. It's easy." It's not easy because you got to check in. Cops are shooting 87 or editing 87 things. Cody and Adam are switching a bunch of shit. We just lost Joey, so there's a lot of there's a lot that goes into the production.
Remsen
so.
just picked up the amount of slack that nobody
I
should
know.
have to pick up.
I know.
Yeah.
That's the one dong take I will give the Afterthoughts guys. They do it as a bit, but they break Remsen's balls, and Remsen's a good
I don't know
dude.
who that is.
Remsen's solid.
Remsen, he's an editor. He sits over there because you know why? He's a great worker. That's why you don't
Wait,
know.
what's his first name?
Remsen.
Remsen is his first name.
Yeah, I'm not lying.
Now
We're
I
not
know.
lying.
No, I'm smiling because I was hoping that I would be like, oh, it's Tim. Yeah, I know Tim.
His name is Remsen.
What's his last name?
Remsen Etz. Etz, E-T-Z.
No, I just guess I don't know.
Remsen Etz.
Maybe I do.
What's his
though.
real last name?
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I probably know him by his last name.
Ramsey Allard.
Is that true?
I believe so.
Yeah,
yes.
now I know who it is.
I believe so.
Or
The guy who sits
Allard.
next to him doesn't know.
Yeah.
Everyone just calls him Remsen.
Now I know who it is.
All right, we're moving on. Let's go into some news here because there's news that we need to talk about. Grouchy Pants McGee, how you feeling?
Whatever.
Old Marky Grouchy Pants.
I am. I'm grouchy today.
I know, it's
I'm
okay.
not gonna lie.
Hey,
The
But I
fire
think-
alarm
because
went off.
I'm
and
happy
Yeah.
this week, so
woke me
somebody
up.
needed
Yeah,
to.
but
you
I
have
gotta
to,
do
but
it.
Riley, you know it that because when Cobbster's grouchy, when Beardo's grouchy, when
Yeah.
Macuga's grouchy, and I'm grouchy, everybody lets him have it. So we got to let you know what's going on. I got to know why he's so grouchy
The fire alarm went off today at
in your house.
5:30.
Oh, okay, that's not fun.
It scared the shit out
Was
of
there a
Cal.
fire?
Oh,
There
at
was no
Cal?
fire.
What did Cal do?
Cal tried to get on the bed.
Oh.
I woke up from Cal, not the fire alarm, because he was jumping,
jarring.
freaking out. And I'm like, what's going on? It wouldn't go off. Everybody's popping their heads out. So I take Cal out the front at 5:45 in the morning, which when you wake up,
Yeah.
to
Jarring.
that,
Yeah, it's like you're
it's
just
jarring.
yeah.
It screwed me up. I'm like, I'm fucking cranky for a minute.
All right,
I'm like,
that's
really
fair.
think that's it?
That's
it's
it.
guys, it's worse
Yeah.
than that. And Cal was like, his ears were going weird,
Yeah.
and he was like doing this, and I'm like, what's going on? Everybody, what's going on? And
All right, we get it.
30
You want to hear a
minutes,
good
yeah.
fire alarm story real quick? It's very
Yeah,
fast.
go.
It's very fast, I promise.
Yes,
Okay?
I do.
Okay, so. okay. So,
No matter what it is. It's like I was at the restaurant. I was like, you want to hear a good story about potatoes? I got a great story about
Yeah,
potatoes.
it's a good one. It's a good one. All right, so I'm in college, and in the fraternity, somebody's supposed to go around and replace the batteries in the smoke detectors, but nobody ever does that. It's what is it? So this fire alarm keeps going off in my bedroom. It's just like that. And so there's a girl sleeping over, and I just go in my closet and I pull out a hammer and just destroy this smoke alarm. And so
illegal.
It's 100% illegal. Next morning, wake up, she leaves. I see her really good friend the next day. She's like, "What did you do to Heather?" And I was like, "Nothing." She said she pulled out a hammer and destroyed a fire alarm. That's some aggro shit, Macuga. That's some aggro shit. Never. That girl never spent the night again. She never spent
Poor
another
Heather.
Patrick
night.
Bateman stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She saw the anger bubble up and destroy a fire alarm. So there you go.
Congratulations.
I went full Riley.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Love
you
it.
didn't destroy anything, though, Riley, right?
I have taken my smoke alarm off the wall.
Yeah, I've done that, too.
Because it's like my apartment's so small that I made bacon and the thing went off.
No, yeah.
It's like I made toast, the thing went off. That's exactly how it
That's a truck
sounds.
backing up.
No, that's exactly how it sounds, guys.
That's a fire alarm.
Yeah.
And it goes off all the time, so we decided to take it off the wall because we want to
That
cook
was
in
it?
peace.
All
I
right.
can just see Beardo in there being like fire alarm 1.
He loves
fire alarm
himself.
2.
Yeah.
Fire alarm 3. 4. Fire alarm 1, 2.
that
I
was-
don't know why I
a good
said
one.
that. You know what my response to that was? You said, I can see Beardo doing that. I said, he loves himself.
Well, he should.
I'm sure he should
Beardo
absolutely
does
should.
love
confident.
himself.
I know he should.
He should, but I don't know why that was the response was
Everybody should love themselves.
like. Of course they
Correct.
should. That's why that was a dong
Who do you
take.
feel like doesn't love themselves?
That's pretty funny though.
But Who said
doesn't
Cobbster?
love themselves?
Did you say Cobbster?
No, like he's
Cobbster.
chiming in. I was just laughing and going, Cobbster.
I don't know. I don't want to.
I sometimes don't like myself.
Yeah, I know, but
I think that's a
you're
problem
getting
with
better at
everybody,
it, though. I will say, I give Cobbster and I had a lot of conversation. Cobbster's been great lately. I mean, if he gets a little pissed off, he doesn't really see it. He just kind of does his thing.
I
He's
just
been working
go in
on
the
it.
bathroom and I punch the wall.
I know I just did something bad,
What'd
and
you do?
I could ignore it, but I have to.
What'd you do?
I
Did you
am
drop
Roxy,
something's
like,
unplugged. One
took
of us
something out of the
one of us
desk
has
here.
fucked my foot, like
What'd you
ripped
do?
something out of something.
Yeah, we're gonna go to break in a second anyway. Well, I guess we'll do news when we get
Probably
back.
Macuga.
What time is it?
I can't
10. All
hear
right, let's
anything.
go. You know what? We'll find out what Roxy broke. We'll go to break. When we come back, we'll actually talk about news because we've got a lot to cover. Collider Live.
Hello there. No, it's not late to the party. That's actually from Obi-Wan Kenobi. You didn't know that? Well, you should, and now you do. Jedi Council. What is it? It's about Star Wars, obviously. It's Jedi Council. Every week, the latest and greatest in Star Wars movie news. Myself and Ken Knapsack, that's right, the pit boss himself. We have a guest on, and we talk about everything happening in the world of Star Wars. If it's the movie news, the TV news, canon news, comic books, games, and then we take questions from you guys on Facebook and Twitter. It's a lot of fun. We've been doing it for a couple of years now. I'm still excited talking about it. The fan base is coming together again. I believe it is. I think it is. I hope it is. And we're talking Star Wars, so we like you. That's right. All of you. If you're not a fan of Star Wars, come on over and join us every Thursday for Collider Jedi Council here on Collider Video. And we have an Apple Podcast feed or Podcast One, wherever you want to go if you listen to podcasts. And not only do you get Collider Jedi Council every week on Thursday, The Rule of Two with Mark Fernandez and Mark Reilly, that's on every week. I believe it drops on Wednesday. It's on one of these days. It's a good show. You should listen to it. I like it. I listen to it. I haven't listened to it once.
Hey everyone, Mark Ellis here. You know, when I'm not trying to clone dinosaurs or drinking at my neighborhood watering hole, I am probably hosting Collider Movie Talk. It's a flagship show here at Collider. I like to say that because I'm the host of it. It's every day, almost. It's 4 days a week, which is still pretty good, above 50%. You can watch it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. 4 p.m. Los Angeles time is when we do it. It's live, so you can participate in the live chat room. Go ahead and give us your thoughts on every story we have coming because it's all the latest movie news of the day. Who did what at the box office? What horrible Redbox movies Bruce Willis signed on to? The DC, the Marvel, the Star Warses, the Lord of the Rings. Are they making new? I think it's a TV show, and we still might talk about it anyway because we love movies around here. It's myself and an expert panel of guests, including John Roca, Perry Nemiroff, Jeff Snyder, and other noted noters of note. You guys are going to love this show, and then we take your live Twitter questions at the end of the show at Collider Video. You can always use the hashtag Collider Movie Talk to get in touch with us, so subscribe right here to Collider Video. Check out Movie Talk, and check out the Collider Movie Talk podcast feed. We have a podcast feed now. You don't have to look at this handsomeness. You can just listen to it, whether you're driving to work, whether you're driving from work, or you don't have a job, but you have a basement and ears. You can listen to Collider Movie Talk's feed. You can get it at Apple Podcasts or on iTunes. You also get Mailbag. That's the show that's hosted by Perry Nemiroff, a lot more professionally than I run this pirate ship. That's our weekend show where she takes your letters. I don't know if you write them or you email them. You have to ask her. And Afterthoughts, hosted by Ryan Snelling and Jay Williams. I almost said Ryan Williams and Jay Snelling. Would anybody have known the difference? I certainly would. I would have felt bad about it because I'm a nice person, and that's why I host Collider Movie Talk. Check it out in video form or on our podcast feed.
Hi there. I see that you're enjoying Collider Live. After this show, why not check out Collider Games, where we play, well, games. We review games, we talk about things, anything that's going on in the gaming world, our opinions, news, all kinds of stuff. So check it out. If you like it, stick around and subscribe.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, one of the hosts for Collider Sports Time. That's our new show there on the Collider Sports Network. It's our flagship show, just like Collider Movie Talk. We get on, talk about a bunch of sports issues of the day and what is burning up social media, what topics are burning up social media. That's what we do on Collider Sports Time. I'm joined by my top 10 co-host, Matt Nost. Me and him, we welcome a bevy of guests every week to talk about NFL, the Major League Baseball playoffs, NHL, and the NBA, which is starting up soon. We're going to talk about that. We also get into UFC stuff, college football, all the stuff that's happening in the world of sports. We're going to cover it on Collider Sports Time. And we're going to take the time to break it all down and give our opinions and our unique takes and unfiltered thoughts on what we think about the sports news of the day. So don't forget to join us every week on Monday for the Collider Sports Time show on the Collider Sports Network. And don't forget to subscribe on the Collider Sports Network on YouTube and on the Collider Sports podcast feed. We're going to bring you all kinds of stuff. Hope to hear from you soon.
Hey everyone, I'm Scott Movie Mance, and just to let you know, if you already don't, every Friday here on Collider Video, I host a weekly film review series called Movie Review Talk. The title says it all. Every week I'm joined by 2 guest critics of my choice, and they're never the same. We review the new films. We pick something that's streaming that you might not know about, but is really great. And we pick a Blu-ray for something that you might have missed in theaters. It is fun. It is infectious. It is the Citizen Kane of movie review shows, and it's only right here on Collider with this guy, Scott Movie Mance, Mr. Movie Release Dates himself. Check it out every Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific, only on Collider Video.
Welcome back, everybody, to Collider Live. It is Tuesday, and myself, Roxy Striar, Josh Macuga, very excited in just a little bit. We are going to be talking to the cast of Look Away. That is right, India Eisley and Jason Isaacs going to be joining us at 11:30, so make sure you check us out. And Jason Isaacs is great. Jason Isaacs he's been so much stuff. Harry Potter.
I gotta be honest, when he walked in, I was starstruck because I'm telling you, man, Brotherhood is one of my favorite shows of all time. One of the most underrated shows of all time.
I have heard you talk about that forever.
And he is so good in that show. Man, he's just the coolest.
So what we were going to do, because there's 2, it's both India and Jason. What we're going to do, Jason and India are going to sit there. Roxy's going to sit there. I was going to just have us conduct the interview today.
That's fine.
You got to talk to him about Brotherhood. Okay. You have to.
We'll sit here.
No, I want Macuga will sit over there where he did for the
Michael Ironside.
From Michael Ironside, and you can, and we'll give you. You should have a handheld, and then we'll talk because he's been in so much television, and he's in Star Trek now. Yeah. He's not. I mean, that dude he's awesome. He's so damn talented. And
that is definitely true, but there's a bigger issue going on right now that I have to address because I really honestly couldn't believe it when I saw it.
What?
So there's 2 bathrooms here.
Yeah.
And
can I leave the seat up?
You have a wife and daughters.
And I didn't leave it. It was rushed. I usually always do it.
A wife and daughters.
Daughters.
Yeah, I said daughters.
Oh, you did.
Wash my hands. Get the hell out of there.
One of them's probably not using the toilet seat.
That's true. I didn't lift it up because I thought Beardo was coming in next.
I didn't even look because it was you, and I almost fell the fuck in.
I almost.
And I was like, oh man, I'm coming for him.
Let me honest opinion. Have you fallen in the toilet? Not honest opinion. Like
ever?
Honest question.
Have I fallen in?
Yeah.
Many times.
Okay.
Many times.
Don't you think I should leave? So you're mad that I left it up?
Yes.
You left the seat up.
Yeah. Because that way, you know what it was? I don't know why. I don't know.
You were going somewhere. I saw.
Such a dude move.
I don't know. I didn't want to. Isn't it better than pissing on the seat?
Yes.
What?
I lifted it up so that way you don't
put
sit
it
there.
down.
Well, the first part got done. Anyway, I've had enough.
I really almost went for a swim, and I was like, "Whoa!"
Well, your grandmother would be happy because you're one step closer to getting your original color
true.
hair.
That definitely counts as a wash.
What's that, Beardo?
Hey, what is that, Brad?
That wasn't me.
What was it? Who was it?
That was Linkin Park. That was the song. It was a great song.
All right, listen. The other thing I wanted to mention, no clips here played. I just want to say this real quick. We had mentioned in the beginning that Limp Bizkit clip when Mr. Insane Clown Posse does the
fake jump kick.
This fake jump kick. That was also ProWrestlingSheet.com, which is powered by Collider. Ryan Satin runs that sheet. Go and check that out. You can see the video over there at ProWrestlingSheet.com. That's where they posted it. That's where it lives. And if you are a wrestling fan, you should check it out. Ryan and crew every day breaking stories, really have their nose in the ground in the world of wrestling. So check out ProWrestlingSheet.com. It was a very, very good acquisition by the big man, Mark Fernandez, because it's been doing really well. It's a great site for wrestling fanatics. Go check out ProWrestlingSheet.com. Moving on. So there's movie news. There are things happening in the world of movie news, and we're going to talk about them. I shouldn't even say just movie news. It's entertainment news because there's a big story out there, Reilly. What's the big one that's hitting the internet today?
Well, the big one is the first image of Batwoman. Ruby Rose.
Nice.
Look at that.
I'll tell you what. Here's the thing.
I am a fan.
If I'm walking through Comic-Con, I know nothing about this show. I don't even know that it's a show, and I just see this fan art of. That's a cool image to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when I zoom in, and I see Ruby Rose, I know you're friends with her, Roxy. I know you've
in no way, shape, or form.
Not friends, but you've interviewed her before. She's very nice.
Yeah.
I applaud her for the strength that she has shown in response to all this stupidity that came out after the announcement of her. I understand this is like a CW type show. I am just not a fan of her as an actress. I think don't think she's a good actress. But I do think that it looks cool. The imagery looks cool. It's not something for me. But if I'm looking forward to the show, I'm inspired by this image.
That's straight out of the comic book.
Okay, cool.
It is. It's great. Yeah. I like it a lot.
You like it a lot? Anybody have any? Roxy, how you feeling? You're a DC lady.
Is this on? This is on DC, the streaming service, right?
Oh, is it?
No,
So
CW.
Arrowverse.
CW. Being introduced in the 3-part crossover.
Oh, cool.
Here's the thing. I'm having a hard time recently with first looks, just in general, because some of them are so heavily edited and look like what you're talking about with the fan art. What Reilly said is absolutely true, and so the comic book fan of me loves this. But I have no idea how this translates.
Wait, how was she looking like?
Yeah, I have no idea. So it's not like I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, now all of my questions have been answered, and nor should they be. But I don't know how this ends up looking on screen.
But the site itself, the suit itself, will look pretty close to this, if not 100%.
Which is exactly what I thought it would look like. So
I think it looks
confirmation.
cool.
Yeah, it does definitely look cool. There's not too much weight. I don't put too much weight into this.
It's a cool look. I just don't know how. I don't know if I'm ever going to get excited about this show. It doesn't matter if.
Did you watch Flash, Arrow, Legends?
I did watch the first season of Flash, and I really enjoyed it. I have all.
That's all you need to watch. Every other season's the exact same.
It's the exact same thing, like
more fast people.
Criminal of the week or supervillain of the
No,
week.
this year we got away from fast people.
Did we? Did?
Oh,
did you watch
people
this
love
year?
it.
No, I'm not.
People love that series.
I can't watch any of those shows anymore.
Katie was on it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was very good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah. So there is.
Strange.
Yes,
Strange
I know. I remember I've
character,
seen we talked when she was on
It's
one.
just one big loop. I can't watch shows anymore where there's no stakes.
Yeah.
So
that's fair. I mean, you're done with the superhero shows
for the most part. I really actually still I can't wait to see Daredevil. I was done with the other ones because kind of like fool me once.
Like the network TV ones, you were kind of done.
Yeah, I don't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. anymore, and I'm fine with that.
Supergirl?
No.
Legitimately right now, as we're talking about this, it feels like somebody died. Like you seem like you're upset and like a scorned lover, kind of.
No. I realized to myself that there's so much TV to watch out there, so much other things that I like to watch. Yeah. So much else that I have to do and other things and whatever is that I have to pick and choose my battles of shows that I want to watch, and will gladly watch shows that are new. But once I've seen them and I know what's happened, I don't need to keep watching the show.
Where do you lie with the superhero shows? Are you watching? I mean, not the Daredevils and Punishers, but the network ones.
Do you want to know all of them that I watch?
Do you watch all of them?
Every single one except for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
And that's for work or because of work and interest?
So it is for work. If it wasn't for work, I have to question how many of them I would continue to watch.
Which ones would you watch? I'll ask you right now. If you didn't
Black
have to
Lightning.
You would watch it?
I would definitely watch Black Lightning. Legends of Tomorrow, because it's pretty standalone. I would still
watch all of it.
I would still watch.
Yeah, wow.
I think that I would.
Arrow's still on TV?
Yeah, I definitely would stop watching that.
Bail on Arrow.
100%.
Yeah, does it stink now?
I would probably bail on Flash. Supergirl this season sounds like it's going to be horrible to me.
Why would you bail on Flash?
Because they're doing that Red Sun storyline.
Everyone loves Flash. Is it just getting repetitive?
Flash, the last year, I was just like, woof.
Yeah.
It was really tough.
They just keep doing the same storyline. It's like, what's my life in the future? What's it like behind? I keep messing with the timeline. That's the whole show.
And it's just hard because finally we got Wally West on, even though it's Barry Allen's show, and then Wally West went over to Legends, and it's like, so it depends on who your Flash is and what you care about.
This is all very confusing to me.
There's just two different Flashes.
Yeah. What is the chat room saying, Ryan?
Some people took offense to there's no stakes anymore in Flash.
Yeah, there are stakes and there are major deaths.
I'm seeing both. A lot of people are in agreement, and a lot of diehard, ride or die.
And I love Gotham. I love Gotham.
What about the image?
And Preacher and
fans,
iZombie.
Do the fans like the image, Riley?
Yeah, let me. I think it's all jumped on the Flash talk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I get it because Flash is very divisive because if you love Grant Gustin, then you could follow him doing anything.
Yeah.
If you love his performance, which I do, but at the same time, there's episodes in 24. We don't do 24 episode seasons that much anymore, it's just so So many.
I think that's when you look at the great shows and you look at the shows that had been great and then started to take a hit. I mean, like Lost, I love Lost. I like
Best
the
show
last,
of all time.
I like the last season.
Yeah,
season
I love
2,
Lost.
I wouldn't call it the best show of all time, but I definitely would put it in my top 5.
Me too.
And
All time for me.
Lost, that's fair, but we're not talking about you right now, and I love you, but for now we're going to go over these points on the table. So Lost, to me, season 2, and I think this also had to deal with the huge break that they took. Remember that
Writer
massive
strike.
break, the writer strike, and it felt like they were, and they even said it at one point, they were just writing episodes that didn't connect all the way through. They were just, because when the network puts this pressure on you, you got to do 22 of them. It's like the writers go, oh my God, like how do we know how
Was
to
that when
connect it?
Shannon was dating her brother Ian Somerhalder?
Whatever it was, but it was like, you could tell that that they were filler episodes. And you can tell, whether there's a lot of different shows out there that when there's so many episodes, there's filler episodes. 10 is a sweet spot for me.
Yeah.
10 is a sweet spot, like Ozark and those shows. When you hit 10 episodes, 12's fine, but 10, it's
10
it's
is
a
money.
10-hour movie. That's why I'm so excited The Mandalorian is going to be
10 episodes.
I can't wait to see what your take is going to be on it. As a TV guy, how you're going to feel
I'm
about
excited.
Mandalorian.
That picture was awesome.
It's cool, right?
I feel super duper torn on how many episodes there should be because while 8 to 13 seems to be what I personally like to consume, as somebody who's in this industry, I root for people to book work. And once you're on a show that's consistent,
There can be more shows.
More seasons.
More seasons, more shows.
But think about all of the people that are staffed on the show
They
that
move them to
aren't
other
getting
shows.
staffed. Some of them aren't.
You know why that is, though? The reason, to go with your point, but also the reason why they do these 22 is they want to hit syndication.
Yeah.
They want to get to those 100 episodes. Like
Listen,
quicker
the
than-
network TV model is going nowhere, and
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. It's fine.
I just hurt for people. Like a lot of my friends who
I
are
had
on
a
these shows, you
buddy-
get a huge casting and it's 8 episodes
Yeah.
and then they don't get cast.
I want to
into
talk
it.
to Jason
They'll work
Isaacs.
again. They'll work again. If they're getting cast in a big thing, on a big thing, they're going to work again. You see it every time. Once you're in the wheelhouse, you're in the
Right.
wheelhouse. Same with writers, same with producers, same with staff, same with grips. Same
I
with
don't see it
everything.
every time.
Well, listen, I want to talk to Jason Isaacs about streaming because he's whether you look at on cable, television, whether it's Showtime or I would love to get his take on working because he's such a powerful film actor, right?
And he's a binge watcher as well.
Is he?
So he binge watches shows. Yeah.
Jason Isaacs
yes.
does? Okay, great. So there's something we can talk to him about too. So I mean, I'm surprised he's never been in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
How great would he be in Game
Yeah.
Oh my God, you kidding
Holy
me?
shit.
I feel like when we sit around a table and we say something like that, it's like, have they not had that conversation in the room?
I'm sure that he
You think
has.
they
I'm
have?
I'm guaranteed. Like
God, Tony.
that's one of the first things I'm going to ask him is if he's gone in on meetings on Game of Thrones. I mean, he's had to have. He's had to have. Who, if not, then the casting people at Game of Thrones need to be fired.
Yeah.
How you
Maybe
don't
he was
call
up for
Jason
Ed
Isaacs?
Sheeran's part.
Maybe, but he's also a very busy guy. You look at the stuff that he's done; it's a billion things. All right, let's move on, Reilly. What's next?
Looks like World War Z 2 is actually going to happen with David Fincher and Brad
Whoa,
Pitt.
Fincher is going to direct it, huh?
Yeah, so the producers were talking to Variety and they said, yeah, we have the script. Fincher's in. We're going to film it next year, start filming next year, so that Fincher can do Mindhunter Season 2.
Wow.
And there we are.
I'll tell you what, it's so funny. I've never
How
gone
long
through.
is this taking?
I went through such a range of emotions in the quick
Right?
minute and a half of what you just said. I went from who cares about this movie from hearing David Fincher going, when can I see this movie? Like Fincher's that type of director for me. Like when I hear Fincher's doing something,
He's the best.
sign me up. Get me.
What do you love?
Which movies?
Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean,
Seven.
seven for me, but Fight Club.
Fight Club
yeah.
changed my whole perspective on things.
Yeah, it's
Social Network I can watch over and over
he's
again.
and I like Benjamin Button, to be honest with you too.
I do too,
I do too.
actually.
Yeah.
Ball during Benjamin Button.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love David Fincher. He's one of my favorites. And so when you tell me that he's reteaming with Brad Pitt, who obviously got him on this movie, yes, because I liked the first World War
But
Z.
didn't it kind of end cleanly?
No, it was open. It was open.
They kind of figured out a cure.
yeah, it was open to where
Or not figured out a cure. Was it
Figured out a
cure?
way
But
to avoid the
They,
zombies.
you inject yourself
Are they
like so you're
zombies?
sick and then
Yeah.
they don't touch you.
kind of like infected. World War Z, the movie, was an anomaly.
Yeah.
Remember
Yeah.
that because and what I mean by that is it's the one movie now that people use for the example of how reshoots don't mean the end of the world.
Right.
Pun intended.
Different movie.
What's that? Yeah, because what happened with this movie, there were all of these like reshoots, and it was supposed to be they were calling it the biggest disaster in film history. Like this movie's going to stink to high heaven. It came out, it got good reviews, it did well at the box office, and they basically made a change because the end was very dire. The original
Mm-hmm.
ending that they shot, it didn't work, and it.
I have to go back and see it.
Well, the original ending that they,
No,
I don't
I
think
mean
it
the
aired.
real one. What ends up happening at the end?
I mean, like
Spoilers?
Reilly said, there's like a cure, and it's more happy and a little more, but open-ended, but happy, happier, more.
I mean, at the end, there's burning piles of bodies that are
yeah.
stories high.
Yeah, it's just hope, but there's more hope in general. And who directed the first one, Reilly? Can you look that up? Because that was something. Yeah.
What kind? The zombies speak in this?
No.
I guess I'm not
really
remembering.
fast.
They're
Yeah,
fast.
they're fast.
The guy who did
I'm not
Quantum of
remembering
Solace.
it.
Mark
I know I saw
Forster.
it.
Mark Forster
Yes.
directed
Yeah.
the first one. Okay, so and nothing against Mark Forster, but Mark Forster versus David Fincher is not even the same thing.
Yeah.
David Fincher doing this movie brings. I don't care. I was gonna say this movie is like if it was Mark Forster coming back, and again, nothing against him because I thought he did a good job in the first movie. But if you said he's coming back and it's almost like what 6-7 years later, I'm going. Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's too late. But now with Fincher involved, I'm like, well, what's his take gonna be? Do you feel the same?
No, I agree. I actually know that I really enjoyed World War Z. I remember that movie. I must remember it like scene by scene because I've watched it so many times. So
Me
I
too. It really
like
stuck with me.
Yeah, you clearly know everything
It's a
about
dong
it.
take.
Which one was World War Z? Was that the one about Zelda Fitzgerald?
I really know I saw it, but good one.
Yeah.
But I thought this movie ended really well. It's a great standalone zombie movie. Hey,
Oh, I
just
didn't
hit
see
me
that.
with the-
Sorry, we're just throwing it up in the air.
But so I don't know what they're gonna do. But if anybody you give the reins to on something like this, you give it to Fincher.
Yeah. You like Fincher doing this one?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I obviously didn't care much about the first one because I don't remember
Right.
it. But regardless of the fact that it's a sequel, sign me up for anything that the two of them are pairing in for.
It makes me want to go
why
back and
not?
watch the first one.
Yeah,
too.
and I'm
Yeah.
going to.
Yeah.
Clearly have to.
You have
so.
to. All right,
great
Reilly,
movie.
what's next?
I like it.
They are already talking about Venom 2
course they are.
and keeping it PG-13.
Then let's remember what we
Right.
said yesterday. I
What was the final box? That was 85.
Well, not
80.
final, but I mean for the weekend. It was your final for the 3 day. It was
Yeah.
like 80 something.
Yeah.
Now, this is what we talked about yesterday. I think
Don't
Reilly
fix
brought
it
it
if it
up.
ain't broken.
I mean, clearly there are people that if you look at the critics score, which if you want to see the movie, don't worry about that. But the critics score would tell you that a lot of it's broken. But the box office and the fan score says don't fix anything.
Can I tell you what I like about this, though?
Yes.
Keeping it PG-13, other than the fact that it will make them money, hopefully, is that I'm still holding out for Spidey. And Spidey's not making an appearance in an R-rated film.
Don't hold your breath on either one. Yeah,
Don't hold your breath.
Yeah,
Hey, kid.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong that if you're going to bring him in because of the way that the MCU is connected right now, that he's probably going to most likely if he does, it would be that. I mean, Marvel Studios and Sony would have to come to an agreement. Then Marvel Studios would also then, if they're going to bring Spidey into it, they're going to have a hand in writing it. And I don't think that Sony was going to want to do that because they have to share some money with them. This movie just made a shit ton of money. Why do they want to share money?
We
with
were all
Marvel?
betting like 40, 50. I said 65
Ellis said
or
25.
When you said 60-something, everybody was like, Macuga, no way.
Yeah.
You're right.
See?
Yeah. It was. It made its money, and it absolutely. What's Rambo 5? What?
Yeah.
Paz Vega joining Rambo 5. Sign me up.
There's also a new Slice just shared another Rambo image on his
There
Instagram.
it is.
There.
JT's
Yep, there it is.
official. Love it.
Last Blood.
Is that what it's called? Yes.
Well, again, I don't know. I gotta look it up, but it's JT's.
Is
tweet.
JT?
Oh,
text
JT.
It is legit. Okay,
Let's-
Cody says it's legit. I
Oh,
believe.
that
legit.
is gross.
What's in his hand?
Do you, what is in his hand? Can you zoom in
Looks
on
like
it?
look, he's filming
Last
a clip
Blood.
of a gun.
Oh, that is great. It's a knife. It's his Rambo knife from First Blood. Oh, that is awesome. Oh, my God. Sign me up to this.
You
What
love
is-
Last Blood?
Yeah, the first movie's called First Blood.
No, I know, but I'm saying you're loving this title?
Yes, because
Yeah.
this is the end. Now, again
different
Rambo
movie.
could crap out
Yeah.
in this one, and if he does, then that's all right.
They
Last
just keep
Blood.
killing off Stallone. Next one's gonna be Copland 2. He's dead.
He's dead.
It's nice seeing you react so positively to a movie, like the
Judge
childlike wonder.
I agree.
It's very nice.
I love it. I mean, Rambo, the First Blood. Remember though, too. This is what a lot of people don't understand is that the David Morrell book, First Blood, is a great book. It came out in 1972. The war was still going on at the time. It was a very powerful book about how war vets, about PTSD, and how, and you are in the psyche of John Rambo, and it is a brutal book. In the movie, he lets people live. He don't let any motherfuckers live in the book.
Right.
Like he walks out. He runs out of the police station in the movie, and he knocks a dude out, takes off, and runs. In the book, he guts a dude and runs out. He kills everyone. He can't because he's just set off. And Brian Dennehy's character in the book is a lot more likable. He likes Rambo.
Is First Blood 82?
The movie came out in 82.
Why do you think they did that, where in the book it was much more violent than in the film?
A lot of different reasons. So it was rated R, but this is also Stallone coming off of Rocky 3 or Rocky. It was right around the same time. They both came out in 82.
I mean, Jurassic Park, the book, is extremely gory.
Yes.
Whereas in the movie, it's gory, but it's not like that.
But also the difference is the significant difference in the character, because you have to make John Rambo.
It's a PG-13 movie.
It is, but in the book, the book's rated R.
Oh yeah,
the book would be for sure rated R. But Rambo Rambo dies in the end of the book.
In First Blood,
Troutman kills him, and in I think that the original ending they shot that actually. There's an ending you can see it on YouTube that Troutman.
80s audience couldn't take Stallone dying.
Nah,
no way.
And it kills the franchise.
Yeah.
And so they were able to build this character because they didn't. They changed the book up.
Dude, for Christmas from like 1986, I was 4 years old. 1986 through like 1995, I asked for a Rambo knife every single Christmas. Every single Christmas. Never got it.
Yeah,
Still to this day, do not own a Rambo knife. That's all I've ever wanted.
Go to the very end of it. This is where go back a little bit more. Yeah, this is Troutman. They actually shot this funny. Oh yeah, Troutman. Rambo made him kill him, I guess, in this one. Yeah, it wouldn't have worked.
Right.
You can't have Rambo die. But anyway, but Last Blood. There you go. I'm down. So is that everything, Reilly?
Yeah, I mean we have a couple other things. Malcolm McDowell has been cast as Rupert Murdoch in the Fox movie.
Good casting. Mm-hmm. Okay,
that's right on the perfect nose. I want to get your take on this. So David Harbour, who's playing Hellboy, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
He goes out. A fan tweets at him and says, "Hey, remember I met you and I had a BRPD tattoo? Well, I'm getting married. How many retweets
I heard about this,
for you to dress up as Hellboy to officiate?" And David Harbour says 666,000 or whatever it is.
That's exactly it.
That was Spencer Perry who writes for ComicSoon.net.
I love Spencer.
Yes.
Spencer Perry's been on our show.
There it is.
I didn't know that was Spencer.
Oh my God, it was Spencer.
That's great.
So it's like Harbour keeps going. Here we go. Like he's ready to do it. That's got to be.
It's over. It's not over yet. 28,000. All right.
Wait,
well,
wait, wait. 600.
No, it's got 28,000.
Yes, I'll knock off 500K if you can get.
Yeah, it's got 28,000.
So it's starting to go.
You can get who to read a poem?
So basically
the comic book creator.
Yeah. So David Harbour. So guys, help out our buddy Spencer Perry here. Go on over to David Harbour's and retweet it. Bless you.
Thank you.
And hey, Cobbster, can we reach out to Spencer? I'd like to have him call in. No, bless you. You don't
sure. I'll reach out to him right now.
Okay, cool. Because if we have Spencer, I mean, great if we can get him today, but probably not. Maybe
you don't
tomorrow.
even need that many retweets. I will be the officiant. I crushed this.
Yeah,
weekend.
I'd love to have Spencer
Can
call
we have
in.
Josh dress up as
You did
Hellboy?
another one this weekend?
I did another.
Did you really?
A wedding this weekend. Yeah, it was awesome. It was one of my best buds from college.
What's your ratio? How many?
I'm 8 for 9.
8 for 9, meaning that 8 of the couples are still together.
And the one that I did was a last second ask, and I knew that it was going to end in divorce. I felt bad. Yeah.
You got to go with your gut.
I know.
Yeah.
Does it hurt you guys when you sneeze?
Yeah, sometimes.
No, I love it. I scare people.
It hurts everybody else around the office when you sneeze because you sneeze so loud.
My favorite was Reilly and I used to share an office, and like he would sit in the corner, and it was the same reaction every time. It would be, and he just goes, "Damn it!"
So
Do
fucking
you
annoying.
kind of feel it in your penis? Because I
No.
kind of feel it like
Is that where you go
in
with
my
it?
vagina. Like
Oh,
it hurt.
really? Does it
You're like,
rattle?
yeah, kind of.
Oh, all right.
I just have never asked
My
anybody
next
that.
door neighbor in my building sneezes just as loud as you. I would love to hear. I might have to
sneeze off?
Yeah, sneeze off.
All right, works for me.
Make you guys snort some pepper. See what happens.
Well, good for me. I have a good loud sneeze. 11:23. I'm counting down the minutes because I really want to talk
to Jason Isaacs.
Yeah, and India Eisley and find out a little bit more about this movie. Really get into conversation about. I think that streaming. I want to open up with that thing. I want to open up with him and the binging and in general. Get them in here and talk because. This is the great Jason Isaacs we're going to be talking about.
From what I heard from him, he says he's torn on binging because he loves it personally. Yeah. But the problem is when he works on a project for so many months and then it's not talked about, and after a week, he feels like it's not getting its due.
But it's essentially like it's like a 10-hour movie. You're watching like a 10-hour movie in 2 days.
I talked this weekend about Ozark with two of my friends. I was like, well, if you guys aren't watching Ozark, get your head out of your aces and do it.
Yeah, but you would be talking about it more if it was on every week. Yeah,
maybe.
Don't
I guess that's a conversation.
Me on that
a lot of people say that. But
Better Call Saul's on. Nobody's talking about that, and it was one of the greatest finales. Last night's season finale was incredible.
Don't tell me.
I don't watch it.
I watched the first
three.
What
I'm saying is it doesn't matter. That show gets nominated all the time. It's one of the best shows on TV, and it happens every week, and nobody's talking about it.
Okay, so for example, hopefully we'll talk to him about the OA because I'm obsessed with the OA. But are people talking about the OA now?
No, because nobody really watched it when it happened.
More people need to talk
That's what I'm saying about Better Call Saul.
But we're arguing the same thing.
No, I think we're arguing different things.
All right, let's argue about it off air. We are going to go to break. When we get back, we will be speaking to India Eisley and Jason Isaacs. It is about the new movie Look Away, amongst other things, when we get back. Collider Live. Hello, Collider fans. I'm Kristian Harloff, and you see my stupid name in the background because that's my other show. It's One-on-One with me, Kristian Harloff. What the hell is it? I just sit down and talk to people. I literally just sit down and talk to people about what the hell's going on in their lives and their careers, and it's a long-form interview show. Originally, it aired on Collider Video as far as the YouTube channel goes, but we moved it on over, and it's on the Collider Video podcast, Collider Podcast, on YouTube. Go on over there if you want to see the video and to see the pretty faces that I'm talking to. Had some great guests over the past. And we're going to have a lot more. And there's going to be people that maybe some celebrities or actors and actresses, producers, writers, all that stuff. But there's also a lot of the people that you know around here. I could have Cobbster on there. I could have Jeff Snyder, John Roca, Mark Reilly, Roxy Striar, whoever. And I'm going to find out more about them. Long form, and also go to Apple Podcasts and check out the One-on-One feed with Kristian Harloff. And not only is my show on there, Mark Reilly, the Reilly Roundtable, which is another sit-down, long-form interview show, that's also there. And when Steve Frosty Weintraub talks to Kevin Smith or George Takei, that's going to be on that podcast feed also. So if you're taking a long drive and you like those long-form interviews, pop on the One-on-One with Kristian Harloff, give it a rate, comment, do all that because it helps the show and it makes Podcast One go, hey, you know what? Those people should get ad money.
Oh, hi, guys. It's Perry here, and I am going to tell you about The Witching Hour. It is the show that I host along with Collider.com's Haley Fouch. It is in podcast form on the Collider Factory feed, and we also have the video up and running every Tuesday for you right there on the Collider Podcast YouTube channel. We talk about everything horror. We're talking TV, movies, the newest releases. We talk about movies that are celebrating anniversaries. We've even talked about books. It's crazy. If it is scary, we are talking about it on The Witching Hour. We also have so many filmmaker interviews, really cool stuff. It's all coming your way every single Tuesday on The Witching Hour. Check it out. Collider Factory and the Collider Podcast YouTube channel. Ugh.
Hey, Collider fans, John Roca here. Look that behind me. There it is, Collider Sports. That's right, that is happening right now. We started it a couple of weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. We've had some great programming on there already. For those of you that have already watched, thanks so much. We got so much coming down the pike. We're talking about NFL. We're going to talk about NBA. There's plans about NHL. Golf is in the equation now. And, of course, the Premier League show that I host with Jack Hind, that's been in motion for the last couple of weeks. And then an MMA show is on the way from Dennis Zhang, me and Jay Williams as well. For you might know him from the After Schmo show. What is that thing called? Afterthoughts, that's it, the Afterthought Show. All those things are happening here at Collider. And look, we want to hear from you, so we want you to listen, we want you to watch. If you're a sports fan, even if you're not a sports fan, we might entertain you, teach you something new about a sport that you may not have known much about, or maybe so deep into it that you wanted to learn even more about it. We've got you covered. You can do that. Follow us on iTunes and on YouTube. You can there watch all the shows or listen to all the shows that you want, and then leave us comments and rate the shows as well and review them, and then let us know know what other sports you want us to cover. Look, we're not touching rugby. I'll just tell you that right now. That's as far out as we'll go, or cricket. But maybe in the future, if we go Collider worldwide, that's certainly a possibility. But for right now, Collider Sports is there for you. Take a look at it, take a watch, and let us know what you think.
Hey guys, Reilly here, and let me tell you about the Reilly Roundtable. That's right, they gave Reilly his own podcast. The Reilly Roundtable is on its new home, and that is One-on-One with Kristian Harloff on the iTunes feed for Podcast One. It drops every Thursday. The Reilly Roundtable is a little bit about everything. It's about movies and life and movies and everything in between. I like to have on special guests for discussions like Justice League versus Batman v Superman, for discussions about wine tasting, for discussions about UFOs, and everything in between. That's right. The Reilly Roundtable drops on Thursdays on the One-on-One with Kristian Harloff podcast feed and later on Collider Video's own podcast video network. So check it out every Thursday, the Reilly Roundtable. See you there.
Collider Live, we are back. It is Tuesday and brand new movie, Look Away. And it is a psychological thriller that tells the story of Maria, an alienated high school student whose life is turned upside down when she switches places with her sinister mirror image. And we are joined today on Collider Live by the stars of that film. India Eisley is here, and Jason Isaacs. Hello, guys. How are you guys?
Hello.
Hi. It's a pleasure to have you both here. And
you read that rather beautifully, I thought.
I thank you so much. That's
He's pretty good at that, yeah.
Coming from you, I mean, that is a huge compliment. We are huge fans of your work. I am looking forward very much to seeing the film. The one thing I'd like to talk about, we are going to get into the movie, and I want to talk about it, but right before the break, we were talking about streaming as far as television goes, and we know that you had a particular take on Roxy had mentioned you had heard something.
Yeah, I watched an interview of yours. It was really good, actually. The guy was saying you're so active on Twitter that he got your take on a lot of different things. I wish I could give him a shout out, but I don't remember what his name was. But you were saying that you're kind of torn about streaming services because you are a binger yourself. But as an actor, when you're filming something for months and months and it comes out all in one day, it can be a little challenging.
Well, you spend 6 months or 9 months doing something. So I was in the OA, for instance, which took a long time to shoot. And it's a beautiful, textured, fabulous show. And it's a testimony to how great the show is that many, many, many people watched it in 8 hours. And
I was one of them.
I was also one. And it's done. I watched it in 8 hours. I watched it straight through from when I clicked on it. And I watch most things like that. But it feels weird that it's kind of, I'm so used to, I've been doing this for a long time, things being in the ether and being part of the conversation of the zeitgeist for a long time. But for the real fans, they click on it and then the day later, they've done.
Yeah. And how do you feel about streaming? Do you binge stuff or do you like to watch it like weekly if you had?
No, I binge. I was a Breaking Bad fiend. Yeah. I just stayed up until 5 a.m. every morning watching Breaking Bad.
That's how I did it.
Because I was late to the bandwagon, and so I got to binge all of it, and I didn't have to wait week after week.
I have a sad story in that I was doing Fury in London. We now live in London, but we lived in LA at the time. And I was in a hotel in England, and I had 4 days off or something, and I started Breaking Bad, and I didn't leave my hotel room. I watched all 6 or 7 seasons, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And just ordered room service. I think I probably had a bedpan to save me going to the bathroom. I watched the whole thing. And I felt bereft when it was over.
Yeah.
My
life was empty.
Yeah, the other one was The Hour. That's what happened with The Hour.
I wound up doing The Wire in like 2 weeks. I watched all, was it 5 seasons in like 2 weeks? So binging. Do you guys feel like it's now, because the way it is, it's essentially you look at, let's say like the OA, right? So how many is it, 10 episodes? For
8.
8 episodes. So it's essentially an 8-hour movie that people have watched.
It definitely was an 8-hour movie. They wrote it, Zal and Britt wrote it over the course of 2 years by themselves on spec, and then they sold it and they made it. I mean, one of the things I loved about it, it's really like their indie movies. They make these little movies, and then suddenly Netflix and everybody else who wanted to make it, but Netflix won the bidding war, went, go make your movie. And they did make it, the same director for all the episodes, which is happening more and more now.
Right.
And it's an 8-hour movie, and so you shoot, as opposed to when you do Star Trek, it's a different director every week, and you kind of reboot lots of things. You're really telling a story, a massive story. It's like reading a novel instead of a short story.
Right. I mean, when you look at that, when
it was like a binge director.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Is so when you look at shows that way, do you think that streaming and the way that we're going with television in general is that as actors, that you have a lot more to evolve these characters to really, I don't know, I always feel like when I watch these streaming, there's so much more detail to characters.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I just came off of a limited series called I'm the Night, which is coming out in January.
Limited series. Is that the new jargon? We can't say miniseries or event series. It's now limited series.
No. I've been saying miniseries the entire time, and I got corrected 8 times yesterday.
Because it sounds like 1970s show, but it's a miniseries by any other
but
name.
It's it's a miniseries. But I had never experienced, getting, 6 episodes to have a character, have
Also,
an
it's
arc
written,
and-
a lot of the good stuff, like the series you just did with Chris Pine, they're written before you start. So when you sign up for a long-running TV series...
This one wasn't fully... It wasn't
Oh,
fully
was it not?
written, though. No.
Okay. Well, generally, if you're lucky,
Right.
they're written so you get, it's like doing a play. You get to dive in. You know when you can drop little hints and lay breadcrumbs for the audience and build a character in ways that you don't get. Most movies are between an hour and a half and 2 hours, and there's only really room to explore one character or two characters. But this, people can behave in anomalous ways. So generally in a movie, they're more streamlined. There's a kind of a straighter line for the character, but in real life, we're different people on different days, and we do things that sometimes out of character for ourselves, and you can explore that complexity of humanity over more hours. The other thing is that grown-ups stay in and young people go out. So grown-up stuff is generally on a smaller screen.
With the exception of me, I don't go out.
No, you're an anomaly in so many ways.
I'm just an old lady.
You ever gone to a bar and just put on a TV show? Because I have. I've done that
And
before.
put on TV show.
Yeah,
You guys should be watching
Can you turn
this.
it to...
Right.
Can you, yeah.
Turn the
thank
game
you.
off. You guys should be watching the OA.
Yeah.
Come on.
I do it all. I'm on location all the time away from my family, and I load things up on the iPad, and I go out to a restaurant, and I sit there, and I'm sure people are looking over thinking, who's that sad Johnny No-Mate sitting there? But I'm having a fantastic time.
Awesome. Let's talk a little bit about the movie here. So let's talk about Look Away. So I saw the trailer, and what I noticed inside of it, so you play his father.
I did.
And so what I liked about it, I had like a Carrie feel to it from what I saw in the trailer.
It does. I do have a Carrie moment, kind of, in the film.
Carrie's more of a straight-out horror film.
Yeah,
this
this
is
one's not.
You can watch this and ask yourself at the end, did I just see something supernatural? Did I see something psychological?
Yeah.
What was I watching?
I like that. And I think that for you, that's got to be really fun as an actress to play two different
Oh, it was a
roles.
blast, yeah.
So how do you prepare in regards to that? Because you got to go mentally.
I like going mental. I like deranged roles.
Just at Starbucks, you just walk in and go nuts.
No. Like I had a lot of pent up energy, so it was kind of the perfect outlet for me.
I mean, in a way, the film is exploring that thing that all of us have. Another side, a dark side. We're not quite sure who to be. There's ways we'd like to act out that we don't get to act out. Right. And I've got teenage daughters, and this is about a teenager. India's slightly older, but she's playing a teenager in it. And their lives become very secretive and insular, and there's a lot of time spent looking in the mirror and trying to work out who to be and how to be, or looking at Instagram, or wondering about who to project onto the world, and it's that turned up to 11.
Well, I noticed that inside of the trailer alone, it's just like you're telling your Sorvino, you're like, we have a very strange daughter. We have like
I think I said
you said screwed up.
I said screwed up. I remember shooting the scene saying fucked up. I think that might be a dub.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So you got a fucked up daughter,
But I don't know why. 'Cause it's a very adult film. There's nudity and violence and sex in it, so I don't quite know why that was dubbed.
Is it rated R?
I would be surprised if it wasn't. I don't know.
Maybe inside of the trailer they just wanted to propose it.
Yeah,
maybe so. But so had you guys met? Have you ever worked before? This is the first time.
No, it's the first time.
Because like that always fascinates me. You got to come in. You got to establish this father and daughter relationship, and it's like you said, you have daughters, and you're able to. How does it work out with the two of you? What's the preparation?
So the first day on this sounds like a non sequitur, but on the first day on Sense8, did you see Sense8, the Wachowski?
Yeah.
They shot the orgy scene. People never met before. They take their clothes off, and then suddenly they're in a hot tub exploring each other's body parts. So it's slightly easier. What we had to do.
Yeah. I just had my first day. I just had to eat crab in front of you.
That was it.
Well, no, you had to be disturbingly sexual and confrontational. It was. But that's what we do as actors. You meet someone and immediately you're in love with them. We're shooting the last scene of the film where they've just died or whatever. And our job is to keep our imaginations free and loose and be able to suddenly be in a situation, an extreme situation that we hope we never find ourselves in.
Yeah, and just be open to react to the other person.
Yeah.
For somebody who's scared of legitimately everything, I'm looking at myself.
Really is.
I'm really scared of everything.
Yeah.
Is this going to be a movie that's going to keep me up at night on a scale from 1
Now remember, he gets like Beardo. Give me a little of Macuga. He gets scared at everything that we show him. We took him into a horror movie, and go ahead. Can you do it?
It's just me.
Wow.
Is that going to happen in your movie?
So proud. Yeah. We are pretty proud. We are pretty
It's
proud.
not a horror film in that sense.
What scares you? What kind of horror film
Everything.
No. Does gore really scare you?
Like slasher stuff?
Yeah.
I think it's more jump scares, psychological, like dark places. Spiders, animals.
He gets creeped out fast.
The
This is
woods.
uncomfortable. This is like a vice that starts tight and gets tighter and tighter and tighter, and you just have a horrible sense of dread
You just
all the time.
you feel very uncomfortable.
I'm a father of teenage girls, and I tell you that scares me. And watching this scares me even more. And mostly, I'm terrified that my children would ever see this film because they'll never look at me again.
Why is that? Can you say? I mean, without giving anything away.
Because I'm not the greatest dad in it, and when you see your dad behaving in a certain way, even though they know I'm pretending, they've seen me pretend a million different things. Still, they're looking at their dad. They already can't bear to listen to me or look at me as it is.
They watch everything you do?
No. God, I was in a film called Cure for Wellness a couple of years ago, in which I raped and did worse things to my daughter, and I hope to God they never see that, or the social services will be around my house immediately.
Well, that's the thing with you. So you're one of the most terrifying. You have some of the most terrifying roles. I mean, Patriot.
Yeah, they haven't seen that either. I don't want them to see me shooting children and burning women.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You're a terrifying
Well, maybe it might give you some authority in my house, which I have none.
Yeah, were they Harry Potter fans?
No, they used to love coming to the set because there was two things. There was free chocolate, and because the toilet in my trailer flushed with your feet. And so they would just stick things down the toilet and flush all the time. That was the most impressive thing.
I know they didn't care about the fact that
it's their dad in a wig.
Yeah. Well, here's as growing up, were you a Harry Potter fan growing up?
I was. I mean, I was more into. I mean, I was into
Nietzsche.
No. I mean, the first film I ever saw was Beetlejuice, and I was obsessed with it.
You have great parents.
It can.
Or not.
It could go both ways.
She was 3.
I think I'm okay now.
Yeah.
I was actually 2.
Well, were you really?
2 when you saw Beetlejuice.
I was, yeah.
That's a great movie. Well, the funny thing is, I'm showing my daughter. I have a 7-year-old and I have a 1-year-old.
Oh, you
both
wait.
girls. I know. I hear you, and I'm saying the same thing. I was just like, oh man, it's like a horror film once they turn 13.
It's like a sketch. It's literally like an SNL sketch, so that you can't believe that these children you've been so close to, so open with, bonded so tightly with, suddenly are disgusted by your very existence.
They turn on you, right? Yeah. You know, it's so funny you say that, because my daughter, when I get home, I get my 7-year-old big hugs. She loves me so much. We're watching Never-Ending Story. I'm showing her the Goonies, and I'm like, one day she's not going to want to have anything to do with.
She won't remember any of the fabulous time she spent together. It'll be like you're a stranger who's walked in the house that stinks.
Give me.
How old
It
are
can
yours?
sometimes stink.
16 and 13.
Both of them right now?
No, the 13-year-old is still kind of, will tolerate our existence. The 16-year-old aspires to orphan status every day.
Wants nothing to do with you.
Do you ever take a role for them? I was listening to Matt Damon on The Ringer talk about how he thinks Ben Affleck solely took Batman because he wanted to impress his kids. Have you ever thought about doing something like that?
Yeah, I've done some things. Well, I've taken things so I can be near them physically, or not on location, or go somewhere that I'd like them to come and visit. But yeah, the opposite is true. I've turned things down. I thought I can't have them watching this. I shot a film Peter Pan many years ago, and I was shot in Australia, and I was out. I got caught in some waves trying to surf way beyond my pay grade, and I thought I was going to drown. I had to call for the lifeguard, and there was about probably a minute, but I thought it felt like an hour, where I thought, I'm going to die now. And
then Zac Efron comes out.
And my daughter Lily, who was only 1 at the time, I thought, all she'll have as a memory of me is me slaughtering and raping and murdering people. I've got to do some nice stuff. I haven't even finished Peter Pan.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, my daughter is obsessed with Peter Pan right now.
Excellent. It's a beautiful film.
She's obsessed with the movie. So that's like, she's actually doing the play now. She's doing it today. She's doing the play of Peter Pan. So when you said that, it just.
So I'll tell you a weird thing about Peter Pan. If we can go off on a tangent for a
please.
second.
Go ahead.
You're welcome.
So I go to lots of sci-fi and fantasy conventions because of all the various things I've done. And all the photos are laid out of Harry Potter and various other big hits. And Peter Pan was a flop in the cinema. And lots of women come up, dressed fully in Harry Potter costume, in Slytherin or dressed as one of the characters, and they see the Captain Hook picture, and they almost guiltily look over their shoulder and they go, actually, can I have a Captain Hook picture? Can you sign that? It's my favourite film. And they don't really understand why it connected with them. And it's because it shouldn't be called Peter Pan. It should be called Wendy. That story is about a girl who hits puberty, who shares a bedroom with her brothers and plays at being pirates, and is told, today's the day you grow up. And at that, when the book was written, that meant you have to have sex, have a family, have a husband, have children. And she's a kid, and she's so terrified of puberty that she dreams that night of a world in which no one has to grow up. And she's got a friend who's got baby teeth. But there is a man there, and he's weirdly seductive but repulsive, and he looks like her dad. And it's the most Freudian story ever written. And it speaks so powerfully to girls who are expected to be women by the world and looked at as sexual beings, and they feel like children. but they're on the cusp of something. And it has an amazing effect on people, and they don't understand why. And over the years, people have done weird things. Spielberg took the Peter Pan character and made him grow up, and they made the film recently with Hugh Jackman and stuff, but they're concentrating on the wrong bit of the story. Jane Barry's story is about being a young woman and being catapulted into adulthood.
I love hearing your take on it. That's really awesome, special. But the Beetlejuice thing, still want to go back to that.
Yeah, I didn't really answer your question. Did
I wanted to hear the answer to that, but I also want to hear, because again, like when talking to a father of 2 girls, and then my daughter is like a cinemaniac already at 7. Because I'm showing them the right movies. Like I said, it's Goonies. When
First Blood.
I did not show her First Blood.
Exorcist.
Not yet, but she is a big Harry Potter fan. What movies did you start out with? Because Beetlejuice is, you definitely
Princess
don't hear
Bride,
that often.
too. You
Princess
showed
Bride,
us.
I
did like the Princess Bride. I grew up with my brother's hand-me-downs, so the Goonies was there, all of the Star Wars were there.
How many brothers?
Then oddly, two older half brothers. But oddly, I gravitated more towards like Apocalypse Now for some reason. I know that sounds really weird.
No,
but I was
not
like
really.
7. And
No, not at all.
At 7, go. Yeah.
7. Nothing like the smell of napalm in the morning.
Could you find stories when you were young that had women in the lead? Women that, role models?
There weren't very many.
There weren't, were there?
I did think of Lydia in Beetlejuice as kind of a cool.
She's awesome.
Yeah, she
cool
was
character.
the lead. Yeah.
And also Ripley in Alien. I loved Alien 1 and 2.
Yeah, because you look at that time when Winona Ryder and Gina Davis and Sigourney Weaver. Those were the big female kind
But
of.
very
leads.
few. That's
Very
such
few.
a tiny number. Because when
You're
my
right.
kids are growing up, we're looking for films in which they're not princesses and they're not waiting for a man to come and make things okay for them.
I think
there's
that's
very few.
and I think that's the thing, is because I found the princess thing very boring. Like it was, who'd want to be a princess locked away when you can be Indiana Jones?
Right. Well, yeah, I mean,
Like,
that's the truth.
And and I used to just, my parents, I was lucky. My parents always encouraged it, and they didn't say, "Oh, well, that's a boy's thing."
That's
I
what
kind of grew
yeah.
up with that leeway and that freedom of just being able to, like what I liked.
I would never do that to my daughter because she watches Star Wars all the time. She watches. I give her Star Wars books.
I know, but you still get there's a subliminal message when you
there's a
get Princess Leia going,
divide.
"Come and help us,
Right.
man.
Yeah, that
we
there's
need
a
some men to come and
separation.
save us."
In the original trilogy, I agree, but in the new ones, now you
Yes.
look at like
Yeah.
Rey and even
Daisy Ridley and stuff, yeah,
Rogue
absolutely,
One with
yeah.
Felicity Jones, they've completely changed that for sure. And I know that, again, because it was such a short time. Another thing that we had mentioned before you guys came in, I want to bring up Game of Thrones. I think. Did you go on cast? Did you go in for that at all?
No.
That's
I think
crazy.
I've been working. All my friends are in it, obviously.
But I'm saying that's what I mean. But because to me, it's like you were like the perfect person to be in that show, and I assumed it was because you're so slammed with everything that you're doing.
I'm busy doing stuff, and maybe there wasn't a part that was right for me or stuff.
Is that a show?
What? There's like 14.
Of course, there were parts that were right for me, but I was
Yeah.
probably busy. One of your prime asset as an actor is your availability,
Right.
and if you commit to something, you're done. In fact, it's one of the reasons why a lot of us in Potter considered very often through the years not doing the next one, because they're lovely people, but they would say, "We need you in January for a week, and then we need all of March, and then 2 weeks in June, and then November." And that knocked you out for a bunch of
Yeah.
other jobs, and you weren't paid for in between. They paid properly, but they didn't pay for the whole year. And there were numbers of times I thought about not putting it on, that wig on again, and just in the end, I balked at anybody else getting to do it.
Yeah, well, wait a minute though. So with that's interesting. So don't they lock you down? Like because they don't lock you down.
They didn't lock me down.
That's
no, they
crazy.
Didn't. I think some of the younger guys were locked down. And I know that my friends who Game of Thrones, it's similar. You watch the show and you feel like you're watching this whole, but actually some of those episodes, quite a few of the episodes, the characters barely appear in it. They've done 2 or 3 days filming, and then they wait 3 months or 4 months for the next bit.
Does that make you guys nervous in general when it comes to, because you look at right now, we're in the big franchise stage of movies, and bigger than we've ever been with Marvel and DC and Star Wars.
Well, you say bigger. Studios used to make 50, 60 films a year. Now they make 10.
Well, I mean, as far
so
as
there's
like
much less work,
yes.
but they're making these giant, Happy Meal movies.
True, but we just mentioned our whole thing on streaming. The TV is so much different now than it was, say, 10, 15 years ago. But yes, you're 100% right in regards to how many they're making. But I say bigger in regards to when you lock down a Marvel movie, you could be locked in for like 7, 8 movies, Star Wars and all that. Is that something for both of you? Is that something that you would... obviously the money is great with these movies.
I don't know that it is, actually.
Why
I'm
do
not
you
sure.
say that?
I'm not sure that everybody gets paid a fortune.
Okay. I mean, depending on the role.
And they lock you down. So, by the way, I've never been offered any of them, so I've never had to confront this. Have you?
Neither have I, no.
No. We should have such problems.
Well, we were talking earlier about like the difference between 24 episodes to 13 episodes to 10 to even 8 on streaming services, and we kind of had this back and forth of like, well, if you shoot 8, then you can go shoot another 8 somewhere and stuff like that. Where do you guys land on the spectrum of what you prefer to do in that kind of realm?
I mean, I was on a show for 5 years, and honestly, being a series regular, it would have to be a character that I really liked.
You hated it.
Well, yes, as you've been hearing. No, because I get bored very easily, and so I kind of always I like moving on to different things, and the idea of just being locked into something for too long is just like
right. Unless the
I
character
don't want to do it again.
Yeah, but
really.
stories like Breaking Bad and stuff.
Unless
doesn't,
hey,
right.
If it turns out to be genius, that's great.
Yeah, I mean, if
but
Vince
if it's
Gilligan came
limping
up with this
on
brilliant thing,
and it's very mediocre, sorry, I suppose.
No, that's fine.
But if it's something that's just, if you feel like you're filling the gap between commercials, then it's soulless. If you feel like you're telling a great story well with great writers, that's fine. But because because of the way the landscape has changed, you do get to do what you like to do as an actor, is tell real stories, whether it's over 6 hours or 8 hours or 13 hours or in a movie. Then that thing about just rebooting weekly and going to a job,
It's
like going to an
punching
office.
a clock. It's just infuriating.
I have a couple of friends who've been in those shows which are, solving the crime of the week or catching the serial killer of the week, and their biggest artistic decision every day is blue or black suit, sunglasses or not. And they enjoy the money,
right?
But they enjoy the money on the odd weekend they have off. But they don't look forward to going to work.
Yeah, and you lose kind of what makes it fresh and fun to be an actor in the first
the
place.
creativity goes away.
Right.
And it's just.
Well, I mean, go ahead.
It's in that kind of realm. So you did my favorite show, probably the most underrated show in the
Gilmore
history.
Girls.
No.
It's a great one.
Brotherhood.
Oh, thanks very much. Yeah, that was fantastic.
It's the kind of thing where when I started watching it, this was right up my alley. It was that Boston, Providence, Irish Mafia version of The Sopranos for Showtime. You did 29 episodes. Was there a point in that show when you thought this is going too far? I mean, I thought it ended too short.
Funnily enough, I had no idea because I just come out of the Harry Potter contract, and so I was available to sign up for a regular TV series. And I had no idea how spoiled I was doing that show because the episodes were completely generated by character. You didn't have to solve the crime of the week. No. It was just whatever the writers thought was interesting and dramatic. And only in retrospect, because I've done a couple of network shows since then, I've done some pilots that didn't go since then, when they're trying to find a formula that you can, just add water, rinse and repeat. And I only in retrospect do I realize what fantastic creative freedom we had telling those stories.
Yeah, Brotherhood was something else.
Well, let's talk about Star Trek then, because Star Trek, the question is like, how do you keep it? Because Star Trek's been done so much, and this series now is getting a lot of buzz with the fans and everything. How do you keep it fresh? How do you keep Star Trek, in the eye of pop culture?
Well, it's exactly what we've been talking about. This is a brand new Star Trek on the streaming network, and so they're telling a single story over a season. They were always weekly episodes, so Kirk's best friend would die next week, forget about it, and whatever would happen, it doesn't matter because it was a reboot and you could watch them in any order. This is what we're aiming, like the Look Away, the movie that we're in, or like India's series. This is a single story, so you get to do all those fabulous things as an actor. You have secrets, you have surprises, you have layers that you're hiding from the audience that you're revealing bit by bit, and you don't have to reboot to zero every week.
And going off of that point, India, too, where, Jason had brought up before, when you're watching movies when you're younger, there's not a lot of lead roles for women. There's few and far between. And now let's fast forward to 2018, and here you are leading this movie, Look Away, and this is a big role. It's
two big roles.
Two big roles. They're two big roles. Like so, do you feel a certain I don't say like. There's just pride in it. I think there's responsibility in it for, let's say, new up-and-coming female actresses who are looking.
Yeah, I mean, I just, not responsibility, but because I think it would be very irresponsible for me to promote how this girl is and how she relates to the world.
Right, sure.
But I think it's important that I know it's like kind of the token answers, that I think it's important that we have, films that with, females being the focal point, but also B, exploring things, issues that we all have, male or female.
Right.
I think anyone can find something
Well, there were a whole
psychologically
bunch of
relate.
subjects that just weren't dealt with for many years
Yeah,
in most films
and
because
they're all kind of coming out.
And everybody's, the world is 50% male, 50% female, and these issues, and certainly parents and daughters and stuff, is completely universal. They just didn't put women at the centre of stories or females at the centre of stories.
No, they weren't really
for a long time.
We weren't really thought of as humans for a
Well,
long
no,
time.
the thing
we
is,
were there, but it was just.
There's
not,
two things. One, it
there
was
a
thought.
divide.
Sorry, but it
No,
was
no,
thought
it's
that everything's run by men, or was run by men mostly, which it isn't, thank God, true now, but increasingly at least. But also, it was thought that people didn't buy tickets to see films that had women in the lead, and that's just been given the lie by just too much empirical evidence.
You say that you are so accurate there. I worked for Joel Silver for about 3 years.
Wow, let's talk about that for half an hour.
We can.
Wow.
We talked for about 3 years, and we were on the Warner Brothers lot. And
I went into that building. I thought they were playing a tape of a Saturday Night Live sketch about Joel because I'd heard about him. I heard this crazy, hilarious screaming come from the other room.
Yes, yeah.
But no, it was Joel.
Oh, absolutely. He would go to that level. It's almost like my Manson
Like
impression.
Scott,
But he would. But I remember it was on the Warner Brothers lot. His office was where the old Frank Sinatra building was. So we were there, and I remember when at the time we had Joss Whedon's script of Wonder Woman, and there was a lot of people didn't think female-led action movies could work. And now again, you fast
Which
forward.
is insane because
I'm not saying
actually,
Joel, but I'm just saying what I was
the
saying.
slightest bit of research shows you that when people go out in couples to see a movie, it's always the woman who chooses what
You
film
kidding
they
me?
see.
Yeah. I've been married 1 year. It's like dominant. I mean, it's 1 year.
Yeah, but I mean, again, you look now. I feel like there's a lot. I mean, I think that there's Wonder Woman, obviously with Gal Gadot, broke a lot of records.
When you say a lot, it should be at 50%. Not as a quota, but it just should be
I'm
naturally.
comparing it as
but look at the
opposed to last
superhero.
year.
Yeah, but look at the superhero films. How many of them are about women? You can name Wonder Woman. Name me two others.
Right. I mean, when you look at, even with Black Widow or
Captain Marvel.
Captain
Right.
Marvel's. But you're right. I mean, what I'm saying is compared to when I'm sitting in an office, like it's not going to work. As opposed to now, and not even superhero movies. You look at something like Atomic Blonde with Charlize Theron, or Red Sparrow with Jennifer Lawrence. These movies are happening more and more and more, as opposed to 10 years ago when they didn't. I think you're right. I think there's more opportunity, and there's
Hopefully they won't all be assassin movies.
I mean, that's true.
I'll select my daughters to watch.
Yeah, but
I hope they don't aspire to being who you are in this film.
No. I mean, La Femme Nikita was actually the one that I thought of. I don't think she would qualify as a superhero.
No, but it's in
but
the
I
same
remember
vein.
growing up loving that as well.
What do you guys think about behind the scenes? I know it's become a little more popular to have 50% female crew. How do you guys feel about that and how that's affecting movie sets?
I think it shouldn't enter into it. I think if someone's good at their job, that gender shouldn't play a role.
Yeah,
really. But unfortunately,
people hire people who look and feel like themselves, make them comfortable. So sometimes you have to force a quota to some kind of affirmative action just to balance things out. Then hopefully you can take those guiding wheels off.
Yeah.
So
Look Away. It comes out this weekend.
Comes out on Thursday,
Friday.
I think. Friday.
On the 12th.
And so it's in cinemas in 10 cities or something, but it's also anywhere you can download or stream a movie and pay for it. VOD, it comes out at the same time.
And make sure you check that out, guys. Look Away. And we still have some more time, hopefully. Yes, we do. We have 5 more minutes, because before we do that, because you guys are you done for the data today? Or?
No, we've got a ton more interviews.
Good.
It's a strange thing when you make it. I grew up in an era where I knew nothing about the actors in the films that I love. And you'd see a film, but who knew anything about Robert De Niro's private life when he was making those films? Scorsese, you don't want to know. You don't want to know he's the child of middle-class artists in New York. You want to think maybe he's a gangster. You don't know if people are gay or straight or English or American. But now, in order to make people watch things, you have to go out and tell them things about yourself, which actually impede the audience's suspension of disbelief. But you've got to do it. So we have a lot more.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, yes. And when I hear you say that, because I go, like I said, I've known you now for half an hour. My vision of you, of all these things that I've seen you, is a villain. Clearly, I don't think you're a villain in real life.
That's right.
But the point is, you know that when someone comes in here. But I do want to see that side of other people. For me, because
but it doesn't help you be transported by a story.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. You're right, because now when I see the movie, I'll be like, oh, I spoke to him. He's a really.
And by the way, India does a sensational American accent in it. Essay an American accent. We're American in it. I don't want people to watch it and think, oh, I can hear his accent slip, because I have an agent once called me. I had to do a voice. I was in a film called Wind Talkers, and I did it for about 20 seconds, but I have all the plot because I tell Nick Cage what his mission is. So the trailer is just me and Nick Cage. So people thought it was a two-hander, although I'm in the film for no time. Anyway, they needed to redub the trailer to be even more exposition. I wasn't available, and they had an American guy do it. And I said to my agent calls me and he goes, "Have you seen the trailer? It's unbelievable. It looks like a two-hander." And I said, "How's my accent?" He goes, "Well, I know you, so I hear accent slip a little bit, but I'm sure nobody else will hear it." And I went, "You know what? It's not my voice, you fucking idiot. It's an American."
And then you fired him.
So when people know that you're English,
Yeah, they
even that
immediately
stops them.
they look for it.
It's funny you say that because we
Okay, but
saw
that's
what?
actually legitimate.
It is
I
because
could-
of the show.
But that's not
Well,
why.
explain to them what we're
I
talking
just could
about.
hear it. I heard when we just saw First Man. I heard Claire Foy's accent, but
Right,
it's
right.
not because I know that. It's because I hear it.
Yeah, well,
maybe because I like accents. I do them. Like we both work with dialect coaches and do accents. When you listen to people, their accents change when they talk. Sometimes a vowel comes out one way, sometimes it comes out another way. There are anomalies in people's speaking voices, but somewhere she's English. So when you hear a noise, a certain sound, you might be. She might have grown up on the East Coast. The character might have a mother who's from Boston or something, and occasionally not pronounce her R's because she's angry or drunk or something.
Right.
But because she's English, that will draw your attention to it.
Yeah, I think that's
She's playing a real life person though, so a comparison to that, not just like this character, right? She's playing Neil Armstrong's wife.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but in the day-to-day, accents do change, and so
Absolutely.
no one
And
was
some
with
people are
her
shitty at
for
it.
really-
Not Clara, she's amazing. Some
She's
people do it really badly.
Very talented. It has nothing to do with that. I can
No,
just
some
hear
people don't do accents well. Some people don't.
We
It's
were
a
going
musical
over it
thing.
before. I'm from New York, and I'm honing in on people when they're trying to do New York accents. That's the most critical I am on anybody because
she's from Boston,
she's
so she hears Boston.
And
I'm from
So the
Pittsburgh.
Boston
Nobody
actors
tries it.
couldn't do the Providence accent because it's down the road.
Yeah.
Me and Jason Clarke, who are Englishmen in Australia, we
Yeah.
could do it because we were building a full accent from scratch because they were asked to make adjustments. And because American actors generally don't have to do dialects and accents because it doesn't tell you that much about a character like it does in Britain. They don't have those muscles. And it was interesting how we managed to do it and they didn't.
You guys are much better at doing us than we are at doing you,
yeah.
I will say.
Yeah.
Well, we were bombarded with American culture from the time we were born. And you
Was
are.
there like an American when you first started doing the accents that you like modeled your accent after a little bit?
Well, it's always someone individual. So at Black Hawk Down, there was a guy who trained us when I went to train with the Rangers in Fort Benning. And in Providence, there was a guy called Brian who was an Irish American from Warwick. So it's always someone specific. If you do a generic accent, you'll sound crap.
Yeah. Last thing before
What about
you
you? Where do you get
Yeah,
the
I was
American
just
accent? Who do you do?
honestly, it just depends on the
Your dad?
job, really. Well, my dad is American, so
Oh, okay.
I'd kind of get a lot of shit if
So
I
where-
didn't do it well.
Yeah. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up like all over the place because my mother's an actress, and so I grew up on sets.
Oh, wow.
That sounds very pretentious, but
How many times did she tell me this before? How many times did you move growing up?
Oh, like over 24 times.
Holy wow. Wow.
They were on the run from the FBI.
Yeah. But that's
Yeah, the actress thing was just a cover. But
Yeah, well,
she's older now, so it's fine.
And
But
you guys
I tell
gotta-
people.
She's killed
Wait,
enough
that's
people.
fascinating. You guys got to go, but I want to explore that for a second. So where were you born?
I was born in LA.
You were born in
I was born in
LA.
downtown LA.
Oh wow! So and then you.
Yeah, I don't sound like I was born in
You
downtown.
don't, but yeah,
It's like,
so-
what neighborhood?
you spent the most time, obviously, in London.
Yeah, visiting because we didn't talk to the American side of the family very much.
Uh-oh. What'd they do?
If ever, I don't know,
You don't know.
honestly.
Right.
No, but so when we spent time with family, it was always over there, and
But did you flip? So when I lived here, my kids went to school here, and they were completely English at home. I
Did
went
they
to
start
I went to
sounding
a parents'
American?
meeting one time, and they said, "So Lily, tell your dad what we were doing this semester." And she went, "We were looking at the Romans." And I went, "Excuse me, what is that accent you're doing?" She went, "Dad, not now." Did you have an accent? Did you flip with friends?
Well, yeah, because when I would come and I would go to school when I came into LA, just for brief periods, and sometimes in order to not be bullied, you'd have to kind of.
Be
And
more
when I was on
American.
the show for 5 years,
Bunch of idiots bullying kids with that
What's
accent.
very strange is, and this took a lot of time to correct, is because when I was on that show for 5 years, all of my interviews, if you look back, I sound American because one, it was easier to just stay in the accent because I was on the show every day, every week. But as soon as I left the show, I would go in for readings and I was speaking like myself, and they would be like,
Wait.
What?
What's happened
What
to you?
is this?
Have you had a stroke?
What's wrong with you?
But it's a great tool, though. I mean, obviously, a
Yeah.
great tool to have in the.
It was just very many awkward conversations with people.
As someone who grew up in the industry, I feel like you probably have learned a lot of tips from your mom. Did you watch a lot of Jason's films when you knew you were getting cast with him? Did you go and do your research on who you were?
Shush. No, I was very thrilled because I was doing a film in Plymouth, and when I got the call that I got the job, but first they called me to say that you had signed on to do it, and I was just flawed because I was having such a terrible experience in Plymouth.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
And you were a
it
fan
was
of his?
Yeah, and there was a few near-death experiences in this job in Plymouth. And
What happened?
I don't even. The film didn't even get made. It was a nightmare. Yeah, and
Plymouth, Massachusetts.
Is that like the Pilgrims, Plymouth?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have a house there.
That makes it worse somehow. The Pilgrims were there.
No, I live there, so I love Plymouth. I'm sad for it.
The people in Plymouth were lovely, just not the group that we were with. But no, so I got the job, got the call that I had gotten the job, and so all throughout this job, like I had almost died a couple of times, and I was like, I'm not dying for this film. I need to get to that job. I need to work with Jason. I need to work on the look like this. This can't be the last thing.
You had to do months of ice skating. Didn't you nearly injure yourself there? Because there's some
I
tremendous ice skating in the film. You had to do it for months, didn't you?
I had a great double.
Oh, what?
They set you up.
Don't pull the curtain back on us.
Well, we pretty much are just by being here to an extent.
Yeah, that's true.
I have a couple of scars from that.
Do you really? I mean, I want to hear more about that Plymouth thing. We don't have enough time.
Can't tell stories out of school about films that don't happen or people behave badly.
I know.
You'll never work again.
I know. Last thing, we're in the middle of Oscar season here, getting close to all the big.
The middle of Oscar season? What is it? Christmas already in your house?
Well, here,
It's in February, for God's sake.
No, Oscars. That's when it comes out. But the movies start
Getting
to hit.
screeners.
The movies start to hit now. Like Star is Born. I saw First Man.
Soon,
yeah. So how are you guys like? So when these movies, which movies are you looking forward to this season? There's been a lot of buzz out of the Toronto Film Festival. There's certain movies coming out. Jason Clarke, by the way, was great in First Man last night.
Really
did you get a chance to see First Man?
I didn't. I saw Star is Born. I had a film in Toronto myself, and so I was mostly doing promotion. But I saw Star is Born, and like everybody else, I was swept up in Gaga hysteria.
Okay, yeah, that's the one. So I had this whole story today. I keep missing it. I've missed all the screenings for it. I'm finally going to see it.
It'll be around.
I know.
You might have to buy a ticket, which I'm sure rankles enormously.
Well,
but you can probably claim it back on expenses.
It's true. Well, last night I went to go pay for it actually, and it was sold out on a Monday night. So
we're gonna have a due date. We're gonna go in a couple days.
Do you have a particular movie that you're looking forward to?
I've been terrible this time round. I haven't been seeing anything.
She's been trying to get killed in Plymouth.
No, it'll give me an excuse to binge on all of the screeners.
It's a terrible thing to say because the only way to see a story is not what you said, but what I'm about to say. The only way to see a proper film is with hundreds of people in a dark room because that's how we get told stories and that connects us in common humanity. But I get the screeners, so I'm going to watch them all at home when my kids are asleep.
Same here. I mean, again, and that's also you're a father too, and the same with me. My wife and I like to sit back. I'm waiting for my screeners because once they come, I'm just going to sit back.
I'll tell you what I saw on the plane, which I thought was magnificent, is Leave No Trace, the Deborah Granick film with Ben Foster. And
that's what they were talking about.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
The Dong Takes.
Yeah,
she's a stunning. I was a judge at a film festival a few years ago, and we were judging world premieres, and it's not a big festival, so they had really shitty films, and we were just watching 5 appalling wastes of time every day. And I said to the programmer, I've got to see something good, for God's sake. She went, you're watching 5 films there? I said, I don't give a fuck. I've got to see something good. I'm going to kill myself. She said, there's a screening of a film in a minute. Go and see it. It starts there. And I went to see Winter's Bone.
Oh, yeah?
And I ran straight across the road, and I went to a bookies, because in Britain, they have bookmakers in the street. I said, I need to put a bet on. And he said, the races are just finished. I said, no, I just seen an actress, and I think she's going to get an Oscar nomination at least. So she's going to put a bet on that. And you can put a bet on anything in England. This was in Scotland. And he said, he's from London. I said, yeah, he goes, could you not put a fucking bet on in London because it's not for 4 months? And I went, all right. And I never did put that bet on. But I saw Winter's Bone, and it was a magnificent work, and she's done it again. It's a superb film.
Wow.
It's awesome.
Right. But it won't be in the Oscar conversation because you're only in the Oscar conversation if someone writes a giant check to run a campaign. Yeah. It's not a meritocracy. The great things don't necessarily rise to the top without a campaign behind them.
It is 100% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. 100%.
It's incredible.
That's the one that Jay was talking about, right? Yeah, he was. There's another show that was mad at us because we haven't reviewed it yet. So we should.
Did you see Lean on Pete? It's another film I saw.
No, those are the two. Lean on.
Fantastic.
Okay.
That's the horse one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed that.
India. Jason, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks
Look away. Once again, guys, it comes out in limited, but you can also find it, like Jason said, streaming. It's on demand, so make sure you check it out. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. Guys, that's Collider Live, and what a great way to end it. Thank you to Jason, India, Josh Macuga, Roxy Striar, Mark Reilly, the whole crew today. It was an absolute pleasure for you guys, I'm sure, because that was fun. I'll talk to you next week. Monday. Oh, tomorrow. Shit, we got a show tomorrow. See you tomorrow.